Morpheus.
Hey, don't try to sneak that shit
Morpheus?
in. I saw him sneak his little hand over the
Why is
record
Keenan
button.
pointing at me like some old school Spider-Man shit? Just like point.
Hello?
I object.
Hello?
I just saw the Spider-Man movie.
Wait,
Sí,
Into the
puenta.
Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
Wait,
What
Into
the
the Spider-Verse or Far From Home?
Into the Spider-Verse. Wait a minute, guys.
The
We didn't even
animated
give
one?
the intro.
That's
Hold on,
because
hold
we
on.
didn't know
can't
you
get
pushed the
into this.
damn button, Philly. You didn't give us no signal.
You got to catch people off guard
Oh my
sometimes.
God.
You know, you kind of just got to walk in on them where they're undressing. Wait, where am I going with that?
We have a very special guest.
Look at this. We have a guest today.
Welcome back.
I don't even know how to
Do
do
you
this.
remember? Use the force.
Do it, Joe. You got it.
Hey, I can
Hold
do
on,
this.
I gotta
can
watch
do-
the volumes. Hold on, I gotta watch the
Okay, here you
volumes.
go.
Hold on.
Hey.
Step, just pull back a little.
I could do this with my eyes closed.
Okay.
Welcome one.
Hey.
Welcome all to episode 39 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your gracious hosts, Billy Fanatic, Philanthropy, Philosophy, P Money, P
Keenan
Sleazy, P
throwing me off
Styles.
beat.
We got Keenan Duncan, CNN Dunkaroos, K9, C-section.
He's got all
Hey.
the street credit.
Yeah.
And
C4. See these nuts.
Ooh.
El
See these
Guapo.
nuts, I like
El
that.
Guapo. C
And I'm
Punto.
Joe,
Just
the
Joe.
regular ass dude, doing regular ass things
And I am
in
Latino
a regular
extra.
ass way. I don't know if you're Latino though.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. Hold on.
We're gonna. Is this where we're gonna jump off? We're jumping off on this one.
Okay,
eh?
hit me with it. Hit me with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the DNA test has proven
The results are in.
the results are in. Ladies and gentlemen,
Fuck.
Dr. Phil over here.
we have a black guy, we have a Latino guy, or Hispanic, or Mexican,
Or
whatever
whatever.
the fuck you want to call me, and we do indeed have a white man
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be
Why do
here.
you sound like Obama?
I believe in change.
I am not the official white guy anymore.
You're
Yeah,
not.
my
We
voice.
officially
I
a
have the
white guy.
voice of your
He said-
nationality.
He said, "Yay, my voice."
You did 23andMe, filthy, and you wanna talk about your results?
So I'm 61% European, mostly British and Irish, and I'm only like 23% Native American.
So for
With no
almost-
Hispanic.
almost
background.
all of Philly's life, he stated that he was Native American and French,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and now it turns out
I'm like 3% French. That doesn't even count.
he's
It was just the tip.
It's
Nobody
just the
even
tip
let
of the
it.
French. Yeah. So I
You
don't
got
know
the
who was
Eiffel
flossing.
Tower.
Who was flossing on that side of the family that was like, "Yo, I'm French."
Yeah.
Si puento.
It's crazy, man. To find out I'm white, but I'm in a brown skin
Hey, you're
body.
European white. All right.
Isn't that
It's,
crazy?
Yeah.
You're 40 plus percent, right?
60%
White. Oh,
white.
really?
60.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up
Oh,
there.
shit.
He's more than half.
Isn't
You're
that
more
fucking-
than half white,
Mhm.
I'm like 2%.
which is kind of weird because your father was Mexican
Yeah.
and your mom is white.
So he
So
does
the
have.
fact that
yeah.
you're more white,
Yeah,
than
her genetics took
like,
over.
It's weird. It's
Here's
crazy.
the thing, though. We kind of agreed, or we came to a possible
I'm
understanding
gonna have to
that.
disagree before he says something that I
What
don't
the
want.
You know
I'm
what?
kidding. No. I want to hear what you're saying.
Talk about it, King.
It was we made a statement saying that it's possible that a lot of the Latin American citizens have not
Right.
sent over their DNA
Right.
to the United States
So
government
based
or
on
this
the
company.
available data.
Yes, available data as of right now.
However, they could. I thought about this for a long time. They could also have just said, "Okay,
You can do that?
No. I thought I can. Fuck you. Fuck you in the ass. No Vaseline.
Yeah, you
Rough
dickless
Rider.
fuck.
Hey, this is me. You just came at me earlier. What the fuck?
No.
He's
what I
like,
was
wait a
saying-
minute, guys. We're gonna talk shit. We gotta talk it
Just
equally.
because I'm black now and you're white, is this how we're doing?
I'm
Well,
an oppressor. I'm a
I
natural
mean-
oppressor.
You know, I didn't want to say it, Keenan, but
Conquistador.
Hey, wouldn't that be funny if I'm like 100% African?
but
Everybody
here's the
takes
thing. Here's the
23andMe.
thing, though. We have to remember now, or realize now that Philip is the minority. He's the minority in this trifecta, and
yes, you get all the benefits.
Anglais.
listen here, white boy.
Now we can start saying that.
Motherfucker.
He's like, son of a bitch.
Hard art, motherfucker.
We are now an official diverse podcast. I like that.
We're definitely diverse.
The only thing we're missing, actually, and we should,
Asian?
yeah, because I don't have any of that in my DNA. Otherwise, I'd be happy
got
to.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've got a little bit of Asian in me.
You do? Oh, wait. Well, in you?
Hey,
Whoa.
wait, what?
Whoa.
Did he like it as much as you did?
Talk about it,
Okay.
King.
I don't know. I didn't know.
And your results are from Ancestry.
yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Wait, so you took another one?
I did Ancestry.com like
What's
maybe
the-
a couple of years ago.
It's like
the
a
difference?
competitor.
It's
just
just
a
the same thing,
competitor,
right?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Oh,
But
okay.
They
with
use saliva,
mine-
right?
Yeah. They use saliva. With mine, I was 63% Native American.
So he can't escape that.
Yeah.
So you need
I'm-
to write that on your taxes.
But
Facts.
I was also Spaniard.
You mean like from Spain?
Spain.
Or
20% Spaniard.
Conquistadors taking over Southern
I'm pretty sure that
I mean,
that's where it's from. Yeah, for sure.
Dude,
Yeah.
the history I read about the Spanish people, they would go conquer an Indian tribe and then say, "You see, that's how you know our God is greater than yours because your God forsaked you.
Allowed you.
Yeah, has forsaken
lose.
you." Like that's some
How do they speak to them?
cold-blooded
They
shit.
didn't learn. They didn't know Spanish.
They
I
had
mean, like, how they-
translators. They're like back in the day. There was like linguistic experts.
but see
Yeah.
how how long in the time period can someone learn that knowledge enough to be like a translator if nobody even came over and found out? Like someone had to come over, stay
First,
there,
Yeah, stay there for a
and
while.
learn
yeah.
all that shit, and then
Exactly. The failure of the Spanish Empire was that they continued to expand. Like they would conquer and move on without developing an infrastructure. They would just put one wealthy person there or make that person wealthy and be the lord of that land. But they never had any respect. And so and there's just the germs that killed off the Native Americans. So that's crazy. So
Yeah.
Spaniard and Native American.
Yeah, the three dominating ones were Native American, Spaniard, and Portuguese.
well, maybe I should do this then. You
We need
guys
to
already
find
did
out
it.
what's really going on, Keenan. You're the only one, man.
Dude.
You're still a mystery.
Maybe we'll
That'd
get
be
to the
cool.
bottom of that voice.
Hey
of yours.
guys, so a black guy, a white guy, and a Mexican walk into a bar, and then they make the
develop
None
a
of Our
podcast.
Business podcast.
And somebody walks up to them and says, "Hey, what are you guys gonna have to drink?" And we all turn around and go, "None of our
None of
business."
our
And it doesn't make any sense,
Doesn't.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
Damn, you killed that joke. There it
Ah,
is.
dude.
Buried that one. There's the white behavior. Now I get it. Now I get
All
why
those
you were
jokes?
just a joke killer all these years.
Okay, guys. So I've got a joke. Are you guys ready? This is a good one.
But
Muy
this is-
bueno.
But this is crazy because now you can when you fill out the census or when you fill out
Don't say
any type of
Native American.
application. No, I'm not saying he can do Native American. He can do white. He can legit do white.
Oh, okay.
Does that make a difference though?
Yeah, your credit score will go up. You get benefits
sure it
from
will.
like.
I
a
have
whole
to
bu-
admit something,
You get a
guys.
loan
I've been filing that I'm a white person for
forever.
like forever.
Oh.
Have you? That's crazy.
Because it doesn't matter.
Because
Wow.
I was, it's not like I was lying.
Yeah, no,
you know?
you weren't lying.
No,
bro.
But now
now
I
you're
have
not.
scientific proof to back it up.
I have scientific evidence.
It is
So,
here.
so what does that do to like your
Your
like
lifestyle?
legal documents?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around like other than so I think I did the test and I was like, what am I supposed to do with this information? Other than the fact that I can connect with that side of my family now, because I grew up with our dads, so like I grew up on the Latin side of the family, so I don't really know. I went for a few years, but I was never home. I ran away every day that I could, so I don't know that side of the family.
Mhm.
Which is better, 23 or Ancestry?
I think it's all the same. There's a few websites that you can then go and upload your shit and continue to get more data, but I think the purpose of that is mostly to connect with ancestors than anything. Other than that, it's just like
So the results should be the same, right? So if you went to Ancestry, you should get the same results.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
you probably get.
there might be varying degrees because keep in mind these companies are looking at only portions of your genetic code and then giving you that because there's so much data in the little genetic code that they have.
Also, I'm sure that it would probably slightly change a little bit if you did it with mine because now my data is in there.
So we're connected.
So now that's going to
Interesting.
connect.
That's
us
the
and-
thing, though. Yeah, you need to connect with your family members to do it together to continue to improve the data. Like, I have so many half siblings that if we all did it, I can only imagine the kind of accuracy they'd be able to start giving us. You know, I'm one of 18, right? I'm one of the 18. So
that's super.
My sister says she's gonna do it, so that's gonna be dope. Samantha was like mad. She's like, "What?" And she said that if she finds out that we're entirely different, she's gonna be even more upset.
Nah, that won't be the case.
The fear is though that like, what if I find out what? Like I was afraid I was gonna find out my dad wasn't even my dad, dude. You know what I mean?
They can't give you that result, can they?
Nah, they wouldn't be able to give him that unless his dad had submitted.
Can you imagine the worst case scenario? Like all your family takes it, including the elders, and like you find out your uncle is actually your dad.
Damn.
You know someone
because they will tell you that it'll be like in all likelihood this person has also submitted, and most likely they are a direct relative of yours. Like when I did it, it told me that some specific people were like directly related to me.
Any royalty?
I am royalty, so.
I was having
we were a great Aztec warrior Mayan successors.
What about you, Philly? Did you get connected to any royalty, like the Queen or something like that?
Yeah, some Irish king named Niles of the Nine or some shit like that.
Interesting.
And then also Jesse James, which was an oppressor, or he was an outlaw for the South.
But you can have claim to his money, though.
Did he have money?
Shit ton.
I'm a fifth cousin of shit. I deserve a little bit of the
hit that shit everywhere.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
it showed me that my older brother was directly related. They told me like this person is directly related to you. Yeah, I imagine so because he came up.
I wonder if my brother took it.
He probably wouldn't tell you if he did, man.
My brothers.
Does Philip listen to the podcast?
No.
Hey, Philip, if you are listening and you're not telling Keenan, give your brother a hug, goddammit. He fucking loves you, man. Keenan's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Keenan's like, don't do that.
His birthday's coming up next week.
Really?
28th.
What are we all doing? Nothing, right?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so
yeah.
Wait, so this whole thing was just to say that I'm white now?
I mean, what else do you want? See, a fucking white man wanting more.
He wants the privilege.
Wanting more for the minorities. There we go. God damn it. Now everything you do is going to be under a microscope with me.
Oh,
You'll be like, yep, that's his white side taking over. There it is. There it is.
What am I gonna do with this?
We should do like a bunch of white tests.
Yeah. What?
We should do a bunch of white tests. Like me and you try to order cabs, and then we see if Philly gets the cab first or something like that.
It's gonna be weird what it might do to his mental state.
You know what though? I've had white experiences all my life. You know what I mean?
You didn't even realize.
I'm accepted by all kinds of people for no reason, and just just. My credit is great.
But see, that's like crazy because I want to see what happens now. Like if, say for example, you decide to go to DMV and register as white.
Yeah.
Because
and they'll look at you and be like, no.
Yeah.
You look European. Like
I do.
You look European.
Like I'd look.
Yeah, you can legit like.
I mean, I'm part Arabic.
You can be Portuguese.
Yeah, but your dominating one is white.
Yeah,
you're legit white.
Like I didn't even know British was like I thought that was just a country, like Britain, or like.
Well, I mean,
it's like a genetic race to be British.
Yeah, Britannia.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Been watching some world history stuff.
I mean, I always suspected that I was what made me sad though is as I was doing this, I realized that both my mom's dad and my mom's mom are like gone. Like I could never.
Like grandfather and grandmother.
Yeah, I could never and on my dad's side, my grandpa's also gone, and my grandma's on the verge of that. So it's like
you want to talk to them, huh?
Like, well, what's left?
Oh shit! Damn.
That's the thing about family, though, isn't it interesting? Like,
you know what? You don't want to.
The other day, it hit me. I grew up. Past couple of years kind of upset that my own uncles or whatever they're off doing their own thing. It's like hard to get them around or they're not really reaching out. But then I think about my own behavior and how I've got nieces and nephews all over and I'm not necessarily available and it's not on purpose.
Or friends.
Or friends, Keenan.
Podcast host.
Are you sure you're not white, Keenan?
What? I don't
Look
mind.
at you. You always want credit for some, or friends.
I'm laying
Come
out
on,
our
just
dirty
fucking put
laundry,
my-
Joe, of what happened earlier today when
I
we're trying to
don't know
reach
what
out
happened.
Philly.
Oh yeah,
So that's because my
too
phone.
long.
Well, I had an off moment. My phone was off for some reason. But
See?
We're like, why the fuck is
That's
he
proof.
hitting us
you
back?
guys thought I had like took something personal or something?
No, I was like, this motherfucker has to stop putting us on silent. Motherfucker.
Because I do that.
You do that, yeah.
And Joe and I just like, fucking, we'll just play video games.
I was like, he's gonna hit us like up like at 12:30, and he's gonna be like, "Yo, what's up, guys?"
That's
Just
literally
looking at my
what
phone right
I
now,
know.
like fucking.
And I
asshole.
literally did that.
That's why I messaged you on like, because I know you're on Instagram and
You literally hit me on every platform. And the
Every
only reason I knew was because I saw the because I had my Wi-Fi on. So because again,
it pops up.
Yeah, my phone was off. But I didn't know that I forgot to pay my phone bill. I don't have it on auto pay.
But most people don't do that. Most people just either text and go, that's it. Usually I would say, if you want to reach me, call me, Facebook, Instagram, any time of messenger, carrier pigeon. There's plenty of other ways to actually.
Okay, John Wick.
Hey, Tyson had carrier pigeons.
I insist you desist.
Hey, speaking of Mike Tyson,
Yes. Smokes
He's,
like 40, what? Is that
like
what you're
40, like 40K a month
Yeah.
in marijuana.
Yeah. You heard about
No.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
I'm
can
sure it's
someone
not
get
just
that
him.
high?
I'm
though?
sure it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
just
like
It's
his
him
whole
and his friends.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's his whole camp,
posse.
but
Yeah,
that's a lot of fucking dough to
Yeah.
drop on weed.
a
So-
month.
But
Yeah.
he's also,
A month.
but he's become a very strong advocate for the cannabis industry.
Does he have his own company
Yeah,
or
like
something like that?
he has his own ranch
Yeah.
where he has his own weed. He
I'm
does
sh-
have his own podcast.
I'm sure,
but
like actually, that might actually be helping with like a lot of his, because he had that crazy energy.
I'm
Yeah,
sure,
he
I'm
went through
sure
a lot
it
of
has.
shit,
I'm sure
man.
it has. It's crazy. He's crazy.
I finally saw an episode of his cartoon that he has that you're telling me about. And the episode I
Mike
saw.
Tyson Mysteries.
Yeah, when he goes over to see his brother, and his brother.
And it's not even his brother. He's
No,
like- he's
what
like,
his brother in the no, I mean in real life, but on the
Neil
show,
deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, he's like, I'm not your brother, man. He's like, but you're Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I'm Mike Tyson. He's like, I'm not your brother. Stop coming to my house.
And I really wish they used Neil deGrasse Tyson's real voice, but they
Yeah.
didn't. That's
That would have been great.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
That
got
was
like
great. He's like, hey, can I stay here? And he's like, I'm not related to you.
it's like a Scooby Doo mystery kind of.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that show.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald is in
Mhm,
it, right?
mhm.
Oh,
It's Norm
wow.
Macdonald. It's
Isn't Joe McHale?
McHale.
Joe
Joe
McHale.
McHale. He plays the ghost.
And I forgot the lady's name. It's escaping me.
Yeah.
But it's fucking hilarious. It's something.
Have you no respect for lady actresses?
Oh my god.
Ah, there you go.
You know what?
Here's this white SJW ass.
Going after the
Fucking-
black
there
man.
you go.
All right? You're gonna say
Jesus.
all lives matter
Wait,
now?
now
Is
I know
that
why I'm so. Now I know why I'm so articulate. Oh God.
All right. Yeah. I give you. All right.
We're just to bash him on his whiteness the whole show.
You know what? It's
Oh,
okay. I
man.
can take it. What do I have to complain about? I'm white.
It's like Philip's life is just gonna completely change now. Now that
I
he's
know.
aware that he's white, he's predominantly white. Now he's just gonna like big dick swing
And then
everywhere.
he's gonna have like white friends everywhere. He's gonna roll with like an entourage.
Dude, what
and
if in the
shit.
future though, like think of the implications of what this means, right? Like genetics research has been around for and as I got into this, it's been around for a long fucking time, like a really long time, and like where it is now, we don't even know like the half of it. It's like the underbelly of science. Like people don't even pay attention, but the implications for the future. I mean, someone had mentioned to me, and I don't want to put him out there, but like
Why?
because he's got like 4 PhDs and works for the government basically, right? But he literally told me, he's like, my hesitance to getting that is that as the world moves forward, health insurance companies may be able to use that against you for anything you may be predisposed to.
That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Or they start making clones of you and robots and stuff
I mean,
like that.
that would
and
be
they
cool.
kill
I would
you, and
like
then
to
they
see
will
a
take
couple
your
of
brain.
me
Ooh,
out
like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Mhm.
I mean, the implications are crazy, right? But also, imagine they start giving you like a you have to have a genetics card with you at all times.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be fucking crazy.
But
I mean, that's
might-
what your medical records are
Mhm.
anyway.
And your what? Social security card, driver's license,
yeah,
stuff like
but
that.
your medical records are.
They already have all that. So wait, so you mean this information was already available, just not to us?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, it could be.
I mean, how many
available to
times
you.
have you gotten blood drawn?
That'd be my second time ever.
Yeah.
ever in his? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that. Well, I mean, they only needed one blood drop.
yeah, they only need to draw it one time. That's it.
Wouldn't it be crazy though? Like if they're what they're doing is they're like tracking down like how far the bloodline went of like the main bloodline,
trying to find Jesus' bloodline,
and then they're gonna fucking like just.
Here's the other crazy thing.
What is that?
Are you even white enough?
I know.
What do you mean?
Is 60% even enough to be like?
That's like a C minus, right?
That's like saying you're half black, half white.
Yeah, but for white people, is you saying I'm 60% white? It's like, oh, well, that's barely. You barely made it. Like,
you know what? I will say this. I still get looks from white people. Like
that's because you look
dirty Mexican.
Because you can go either way. If you had like a French accent or something like that, then they'd be like,
it would actually be far more believable if I was some kind of European with like an accent.
Right.
That, like,
you can be
just
European.
based off my appearance. Like,
Piton. I was saying you may not be American white, but you're European white.
Right. Which is not even the same thing. Like,
it isn't.
No, that's Patrick. Patrick's European white.
Yeah. So hey, shout out to Patrick.
Yeah. Hey.
Australians, European. What?
Yeah, he was very quick to respond to that. So don't call him European white, right? He's Australian.
That's true. Actually, when I listened back to the episode, I felt bad. I was like, oh, what am I doing? Because I just kept going.
You basically told him, no, you're not. He's like, well, actually, I'm like,
and he was nice enough to just be like, well, he's American.
Wait, I thought is Australia not part of the whole?
Yeah, but they don't like to be associated with like European
because they're not part of the EU
because they're their own thing.
Yeah, but they got kicked out.
Wait, they are?
Australian descendants were kicked out of Europe.
They were prisoners of Europe, weren't they?
Exactly, and they got fucking shipped far as fuck, as far as possible from Europe. You're not going to be insulted by that a little bit?
That's the same
thing. Are
you
going to want to relate to Europeans?
That's the same thing about Africa, right?
It is.
Right.
No, it's a little different.
Well, I mean, we didn't.
That's a little different.
We were forcefully brought over here.
Yeah, but Africa didn't remove you. Africa didn't say, you're out of here.
They don't want us
Europeans came and said, yo, we're taking you.
Wait a minute. I thought they were prisoners of Europe and they were dropped off this island. Kind of like escape from whatever.
Exactly.
Right.
So think about it. That's Europeans saying, we don't want you here. You're out of
prisoners. That's like the same thing we have in our prison system.
So would you want to be associated with Europeans?
If I was a prisoner and put on an island?
Would you want to be associated with someone who said, get the fuck out of here?
Just because.
That depends.
Well, I think you guys are making two different cases, but you both agree to the same thing.
No, we don't. Fuck him.
But I also find that fascinating that like, for example, I know most Latinos will look at me and not see me as like, oh, you're from my country just because you have the blood, or just like how you said, you know, like there are legitimately African people who look down on American black people.
Hell yeah, it's like it's well known that
like
a lot of Africans
literally they're looking at you like motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, like
like. You know, who are you? It's almost in a way, and I saw this in an interview once where they were talking about how the African community was making a statement like we were weak enough to get like taken out of Africa, like we weren't strong enough or something like that. So
that's some straight
it was really messed up stuff. But that's the sort of point I was kind of getting at,
and that's what I'm trying to say. Like I'm trying to bring that out, like. How crazy is it that even that doesn't matter to them? Like just that you have the same genetics. It's all national. It's all like it's like civic pride. I just don't get it. Like nationalism.
And I have nothing to do with whatever that history, nor do they. But I would, so to answer Joe, I mean, if they called me African American, I would be like, no, I'm not African American. Fuck that.
I'm just American.
Yeah. Or I would understand the title of being called African American because some small molecule of me came from that country.
I mean, that's the question, right?
And that's the statement I was making about Patrick. Like some molecule of Patrick came from Europe.
Yeah.
So you're European white. But yes, in modern day terms, you're from Australia, so you're Australian white. I'm American black. You're from Mars or something like that. I don't know where the fuck you're from.
I'm a motherfucking king. G.
I mean, how important?
I'm a human being. That's what the fuck I am.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. How important should that kind of identity even really be?
It isn't.
What does it do?
It's not important to me.
Right. I've never looked at the world in that way, but I do know that there are people out there who do look at the world.
A lot of people.
Absolutely.
I mean, fucking Hitler was the most prime example. He wanted
You
only
know,
blonde,
yeah.
blue-eyed, Aryan race motherfuckers, man.
A lot of people,
Which is weird because he wasn't.
Himself.
no,
wasn't.
he was
yeah,
Jewish, I
yeah.
believe. His mom was Jewish,
But he wasn't like blonde, blue eyed. Like
How
that's
is he
why
the
it's so
leader?
weird.
That's like the Dave Chappelle thing where he's like,
Oh, we're
"What
good.
power?"
The
You
black
know?
man, yeah.
like-
It's, that's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
But and then a lot of people throughout history do that kind of that have that mentality the same way as Hitler does, but because it was like 2,000 years ago, it's not really considered as prominent. It wasn't as recent. But you look up all those people through Egypt and the Middle East and Jerusalem and Europe and all that stuff, even through China and Japan, you'll see that it's all about our race, our nationality. You know, if we kick your ass, we're better than you. You have to assimilate. They did all this. They did all the same stuff. Yeah.
One of the homies, LR, who was like on the first episode we ever did, right? He also did the 23andMe, and he's got like Jewish in him, like in his
Awesome.
That's
in
why
his
he's so
makeup.
stingy.
Oh shit. God damn.
He's not stingy.
I'm kidding.
He's probably. I don't even know if he listens to this. I know he was on the first.
I thought
episode.
he does.
I don't know. I don't know if he does.
Wait,
he
are
shot-
we on episode
39? I have no fucking idea.
Yeah,
think
that'd
we are.
be about the best guess.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But it just goes to show, like, you would never know. You know, he grew up in East LA. As far as he knew, he was like Latin and shit. But it turns out it's also there's like a part of him that's Jewish. He could literally go to them and be like, "I have Jewish blood," and they would readily accept him.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they're part of the whole belief is you can't turn another Jewish person down, like in any way.
Once they know that you're Jewish, but if he walks up and says I'm Jewish, and they're like, "How do we know?" They would have to have some sort of
You could
form.
just be like, "Here's my 23andMe."
Exactly.
Good sir.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that would be that. Yeah,
I think they do. So, no, I don't.
They do
I
stuff
don't
like that.
know.
Well,
Do
so
they?
I looked into the whole filing as a Native American and all the things.
Oh, you
like,
did?
yeah.
Is it true?
So they don't accept genetic tests. What they do is you have to like through your family be able to track down what tribe you're from. Unless in your genetic test through the Y chromosome they can prove that you have Native American in you or something like that. That's the only exception that's ever been made.
So this 23andMe and Ancestry won't work.
Like
as
if you
proof?
just show them, no. In order to like become part of their tribe and like like get
The government
certified,
benefits,
all that shit, like to have them give you a document
Stating that you
yeah, and there was like there was so much documentation on how so many people have tried to like apply just for the benefits and shit, because supposedly they get money from the government, but they don't. And,
I thought you get
and only
something.
some of them have casinos. And while we're on the topic of Native Americans, that crazy shit of how they just won. What was it in the Brazilian Amazon or whatever? Like the rainforest, the tribe just won the legal lawsuit, and literally the day after, the entire fucking rainforest goes up in flames.
Wait a minute. Let's bring this back because I was going to ask about the whole rainforest thing. So one day before it got on fire, some local tribe
Had just closed the court case where they filed a lawsuit against some corporation, some agriculture corporation.
So
that
they
was-
were chopping down
they
trees?
were trying to expand, yeah.
Okay.
And they were like, no, we need to defend it. And they actually, the tribe women won the court case, and like literally the day after, somebody was like, "Oh, okay, that's how we're gonna do it. Now this is gonna happen."
So there was a fire right after that, immediately right after,
yeah.
in the exact spot where their
it's
tribe's
like
from?
Epstein, dude. Like, it's in our fucking faces.
Okay.
And what are you gonna do about it?
And I think you made a statement about the lack of coverage too, right, Joe?
No,
No, you
fuck
didn't.
that.
I thought you did.
No, but there was a lack of coverage.
I'm of the mind. See, my
Like,
thing is
do
a
something or not,
different
yeah.
thing. Like, yeah, with me is like, fuck, that shit is tragic that it's
Mhm.
happening.
Mhm.
It sucks.
Mhm.
But I'm also not about the fucking fake concern.
right, the social justice, the
The-
social media concern.
Yeah, the social media concern and like, oh
Sending
my God,
thoughts and prayers. Yeah, that kind of
20% of our air is produced by the Amazon. We have to do something about this. Here, these are places that you can go to. Like,
Mhm.
motherfucker, that's the same shit that happened with the fucking hurricanes. That's the same shit that happens with a bunch of different natural disasters.
Mexico,
like,
all the
but
shit.
nobody's doing shit.
Nobody's
They're just
doing shit, man.
reposting,
Oh,
reposting,
yeah.
reposting, and
So-
I don't give a fuck. Honestly, I don't.
Well, not giving a fuck, it might be a little bit of concern because, let's say, for instance, that more than, it wasn't just 20% of our air. Let's say more than 20%.
I'm not going to give a fake fuck.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, because if let's say
it's like if Joe's going to do something about it, he's going to go like as any intelligent person would online, figure out what's going on where he can actually.
And I'm not going to air the shit out. No, that's where the fake shit is for me.
I was going to say you definitely should prep for something, because if you completely ignore it, 5 years from now, the sky is all black, and you're like, oh shit, where did this come from? It's like, well, you kind of.
Let's just look at the audacity of the whole fucking experience. So, like, just because the government of Brazil, the government officials, not the government is a function. I'm trying to get people to separate that shit. The government officials, the assigned public workers there, it's so corrupt that they have their money because Brazil is a rich agricultural land, and their money is in selling produce and shit like that. And so they want to continue to expand and start to offer like animals and shit and like animal meat and whatever else they got going on. Yeah. And so like it's so corrupt that they're willing to do that to gain more profits at the expense, like short term at the expense of long term. Like,
yeah, money fucks everything up. I mean, I think Joe, you and I saw the document or know about the information on the coral reefs, right? And the bleaching of the coral reefs. That's some crazy shit too, where it's like that. Those coral reefs really help out the planet. Once those die, I mean, we're talking some serious shit might be happening, which is why they're documenting
system.
Exactly. And then fishies start getting all crazy and out of whack, and then there's it just cycles on.
Let's push it to the worst case scenario possible.
Yes. Before we know it, the Atlanteans are gonna come up and be like, "You motherfuckers are fucking our shit up,"
and they take us out,
destroy you.
I would only hope so, man. To be honest,
meet an Atlantean and fuck it.
I mean,
and get killed by it. Yeah.
After I fuck it though.
Have you guys seen? And the chances are you haven't, but
damn,
I was pleasantly surprised by the storyline to this shit. Jupiter Rising or Jupiter Ascending. I think.
Of course, I saw Jupiter.
You saw
Ascending.
it?
You like that movie?
Dude, the storyline, like if you think like Mila Kunis aside, because I've got a crush on Mila Kunis, so I'll watch anything she's in. But
Channing Tatum's.
I'm gonna Channing your Tatum. No. I like the idea of these humans who like existed way longer than we fucking knew and have all this technology, like they're harvesting us and all that shit. Like, if you haven't seen that movie, that's a crazy theory.
Well, that's based on the Anunnakis, right? Using us as tools.
Yeah, batteries.
Yeah.
In their case, to make themselves young again. And do not be fooled. Peter Thiel, and a few other wealthy ass people, including Tony Robbins, are all investing right now in stem cell research. What we don't know is where they're getting those stem cells from.
Homeless people.
And they're doing it so that they can go and regress the aging process. So that storyline isn't too far fucking fetched, because there are already people who happen to be extremely tall, who also happen to be extremely white, and happen to be extremely wealthy. Somehow all those things are just lined up. You ever notice how most people in poverty are short people? That's some crazy shit, isn't it?
What that tells me is that you already have your foot in the door. So
you just want to confirm with his 23 and now that he knows he can get in. Fucking white bastard.
Oh man. I can take it.
So now, okay, so just
that's some wild
from
shit.
Other dumb fucking
people,
stupid shit
to another one.
Okay, yes, like all the shootings that have been going on. I don't know if you had.
Well, we talked about it a little bit, but we never got a chance to have your thoughts and prayers on that.
Thoughts and prayers. Fuck thoughts and prayers.
Oh no,
thoughts and prayers.
Yeah,
but
we actually did mention to help you out, because we did talk about you. We did make a statement about how if something happened here, nobody would know or care on the other side of the country. Like when the Twin Towers went down, people still went to work the next day. Yeah.
I was still in school.
New Yorkers don't give a fuck, dude. I watched somebody jump in front of a train in New York.
And that's what we talked about.
All I could think about was, oh shit, I'm going to be late for work.
But now
it's that sad.
Now that he's here.
Okay. So now there's like this whole other, there's this whole other excuse as to why these kids are doing it. Why these people are doing it.
The video games?
No, it isn't even video games anymore.
What now
it's a thing called incels.
What?
Involuntary celibacy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
So they're saying,
my
"Oh,
God.
these kids are killing people because they're not having sex and nobody wants them." So
Bro,
now that's why
they're
doing
jacking
Wait,
off.
but
man.
there's a kid who shot up at elementary school who was in elementary. They're too young to develop any stuff,
Yeah.
so they can't use that excuse.
But that's the current excuse right now.
oh, what the fuck?
anything to get away from the idea that it's just white supremacy, huh?
I was gonna say, if that's true, my black has to be shooting up shit crazy because I've been single for way too long.
He's like, if anyone's an incel,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
that's the absurdity.
people have been not getting laid because they, for whatever
Yeah,
fucking,
tell me the reason why I'm not getting laid, Philly.
because for whatever reason, the factors haven't aligned for fucking forever, and they've never fucking gone out. It's just human nature at its worst, man. And I don't know. I think the political rhetoric of our world's fucking leader, our nation's leader, is clearly influencing that, man. I mean, you'd be surprised at how easily people are influenced.
That's so
No,
stupid.
that's
I
true.
really hope no dude starts going up to women saying, "Hey, you have to have sex with me, or else I'm gonna, shoot some shit up or something like
mean-
that." That's really stupid because people would do that about killing themselves. I remember hearing a story. I forgot who it was from, but they were like, this lady said she was gonna kill herself if I don't go out with her or sleep with her or something like that. And I was like, "Are you serious?
How would
what?"
you
I'm
actually
not
handle that
surprised
situation?
something
'Cause I've
that
heard
would
that
happen.
before,
Yeah, I've
huh?
heard that.
You've had girls say that if
Not to me,
No.
but I've heard people would tell me that, and I'd be
but
very perplexed.
How would you manage a situation like that?
I don't know. If
I
it had,
mean-
I would be like, damn, okay.
I'm
okay,
really
okay.
desperate.
I'd be
I'd
like,
be like, I would be like, let's go get something to eat.
Yeah.
And then while I'm like, let me look a place up. And
No, but what if they go,
and
"No,
I'd-
Philly, you have to fuck me right here, right now."
Well, I would, and then I would take them to a mental asylum
Okay.
or something, bro.
I don't think we have those anymore, do we? Didn't Reagan get rid of them? He got rid of them in California. But I thought it was nationwide. We don't
Well,
have
that
any
explains the
asylums.
homeless issue because
That's one of the reasons that they said.
LA's got like crazy homeless. Like I know it's a little off
It's-
topic, but like in
no.
New York,
I've seen it.
I've been like or surrounded by homeless people who are just smelly and just tired and just like
Mhm.
really, really like lost. Like it's just you can tell it's almost like they're like they don't even know how they got there. But in LA, you've got some crazy fucking mentally insane people on the streets, and they're dirty and have no regard for anyone's safety, including their own.
Yep. I almost ran over one on one episode I was talking about. But I'm not sure if I
Yeah, my
fully
same.
agree with you, Joe, on the fact that they're mostly from LA. I think a large portion of them came from somewhere else. I don't think a lot of homeless people are banging it out. And
I'm
having
not saying that
babies.
there aren't any transplants.
Okay.
I'm not saying that there aren't, but I think with the cost of living, a lot of people are losing their places, and then just
That's what all those tents are and shit.
dude
Yeah.
on
Nice tents too. I
over
think I'm gonna get
over
one.
by my office.
Yeah.
It's that
City?
street
Yeah.
is not Tent City. It's RV City.
Oh yeah, the
It's
RVs.
RV
Yep,
and campers.
Yep.
all up and down the
Oh
street.
yeah,
Same
there's
thing.
so many
living on my fucking
documentaries.
street.
There's so
Yeah.
many documentaries proving
My
that like,
building.
that's people just decided to do that because
Yeah.
it was far more affordable.
I thought it was illegal to
I've
have a
had
camper on the street.
I've had to call the city
Really?
so many
To get
times
up?
to clear them
oh,
because it's a bad look for the business. You got a bunch of fucking RVs with homeless
Right.
people. I think there's a camper that just recently parked like right off of the front of our building.
like right in
for-
front of the.
Well,
Really?
It's just off. It's just right off.
I
it's
think I know what you're
connected
talking
to
about,
the
yeah.
next building.
Okay.
I went there the
But
other day. Yeah.
but there's a camper that had just parked, and I think this lady's like running a fucking prostitution situation because
Really?
there'll be dudes
Can
coming in.
you let me?
I swear to you, there'll be
Oh,
dudes coming in
no.
and out of her camper
Keenan
like,
isn't
Yeah.
joking, man.
all day.
Is
all
she
day.
is she kind of decent looking,
I-
or is it
Mm.
like no? Is she kind of heavy set?
Don't
Little
even answer
five
that for
economy?
him, Keenan, because Keenan will.
But you're gonna
Do
have to
it.
pay, so you know you're not gonna pay. So. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's fucking irritating because you
Yeah.
can't fucking bring a client to the office
and
and then they see fucking some homeless people just
Yeah.
chilling
banging
in
it
the
out.
front.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like what the fuck? It's
Right.
it's horrible.
it's pretty bad.
So
man.
where
horrible.
where should they go? Let's not suggest the fact that we build a big
Go to the desert.
desert.
Yeah, go to the
Palmdale?
desert. No, go
No.
to the desert, like legit, like
The desert?
desert.
Because there's nothing really out there, and you can
on
technically
some Mad
live,
Max shit, yeah.
right?
sure, yeah.
Because I mean,
that's kinder than the solution I had.
Damn, you about
I'm not
to
even
kill 'em
gonna
all?
I'm not even gonna air my solutions
Oh,
out,
shit.
bro. Because like I mean,
Philly's talking about genocide.
But to go back to
Goddamn.
to go back to your statement about what would I do if a female came and said,
came at you
yeah,
with some
fuck
bullshit.
me or I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let her die.
Really?
Because it's not my responsibility to care about her life.
Now, would
Yeah.
you,
Especially if she cares so much. So if they care, not she, but if
the
the individual cares so much little about theirs, like
You brought
Wouldn't
up
you go to
something
jail
big.
though?
No.
no.
I could have swore if you're in presence and you had an option and
Hell
you said
no.
go ahead and do it.
No, it's not my responsibility.
This that brings up
Look the law
something
on that one.
super important that I saw on Instagram recently. I follow this page called like Humans of NY or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and there was this post of a son talking about what his mom was like, how when they were kids she was always around and always thinking of them and this and that. But then when they got older and started moving away to college and, the dad was never around, that she grew depressed and despondent and started like falling off stairs and like just all that shit. And then there was like a bunch of people commenting, mostly women commenting like, people never realize how much a mom goes through. And I was like, okay, sure. I said, but I left a big ass comment. I said, as somebody who had a non-citizen, like a non-model mom, like a non-model meaning like non-role model mom, right? And like my father, the same role. I said, I don't think that someone who claims to love you and care about you would continue to be able to claim that while at the same time putting you into misery that could have been avoided and like just adding burdens to your life. That's not somebody who loves you. That's somebody who loves themselves so fucking much that they're not willing to allow other people to live their fucking lives. Like,
how'd they respond?
I don't know. I haven't gotten any comments back, but I left a big ass because I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I really, it's one of the few times I feel strongly like if you say you really care about somebody, take care of your fucking self and go get a hobby. Don't be like, oh, don't have kids anymore now. I don't have a life. Like, the fuck?
Oh, I'm really curious to see what the comments are. Because I know people that would just be like,
I would love to hear this because I don't care what anybody says. I know that time can be limited and this and that, but that doesn't mean you don't have passions, that you don't have hobbies. Nobody can force you to fucking get into that.
Some people don't have hobbies.
Look, dude, I tried a million things, mostly because I don't know what the fuck I want to do. My problem is, this is going to sound the most arrogant thing ever, but I get.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but you know what? Ain't the size of the hammer. It's the nail you're throwing it at.
It's only little compared to mine. That's the only reason why.
No, but go ahead.
No, what I'm getting at is like, I get pretty good at everything I do to some degree, like good enough where I'm like, wow, I could probably do this, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see myself as above average of anything. So I feel like anybody, if they just put the fucking time and effort, could get into something, man. It's really like,
but
it's
that
willpower.
Is you though. Everybody can't. They could, but
I think like you and I are different. I don't know what it is about us. Like,
well,
yeah,
you're
Keenan, right?
anything we
suck.
Well, Keenan's
Keenan's a special
different.
case.
He's a cool guy. Keenan's a cool guy.
That's what my parents told me.
No, but what I'm saying is like honestly, like anything we touch, we can probably make happen. Like,
right. Not Keenan though.
No, Keenan can too. Like that's the thing though.
Most of the people that we surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think we would surround ourselves with anybody who isn't capable
of like really pulling
and
together.
is always down and out.
Anyone who has come across us has faded away.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's probably not of our choosing. We probably naturally won't present that entity near us at all without us putting any effort.
Okay, I got the perfect question. A lot of the people that have come across in our lives had the potential at some point. That's why we became friends with them. Because we befriend people not because they have the potential to make our lives better, but because we see potential in them and go, wow, that's a stand-up person to keep around. But then something comes up and they're no longer able to continue that.
Right.
Now, oftentimes I see that they're enabled by drugs and alcohol or women or like or men, whatever, right? The point is they enable these things to then be the crutch that, oh, I can't do it because, right? And so my question is, like anyone else in life, I mean, I have incredible amounts of doubt. I'm sure you guys have your own moments of doubt, but yet you somehow
never in my life
push through that. You know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of people that I really do love, but they're just like, they can't get out of their own fucking way. Like when you guys face doubts, how do you get out of that?
I push.
Does it flash? And as soon as it happens for you, you're like, nope.
Yeah.
What about you, Keenan?
That's it, Joe?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
It's just willpower, right?
Honestly, shit is fucking easy for me. Like,
what?
I'm not gonna lie to
Joe's
you.
white. Maybe Philly's not white.
No,
Joe's white.
I just had a conversation about this last
Yeah?
night. For whatever reason, shit is just easy for me.
Like when you set your mind to it.
If I really want to do or try to do something,
Yeah.
like I fucking do it.
You know, me and
Now,
Philly
there are
said that
things-
behind your back. So
What?
it's true.
But
Everything happens for Joe easy.
oh yeah, we were talking
Like
about that.
I don't.
I'm just
I
joking. I'm
honestly
messing. We
don't
were
know.
saying.
I honestly don't know what it is. Like, but
So you have a
but
talent.
if I'm presented with something, or if
You
I'm
want
if
something.
if there's something that I want or an obstacle or something, I just do. And for whatever reason, shit just lines up for me. Like,
Well, I think to clear it up, I think we were questioning our pathways in life and how we get to certain ways with slight difficulty. But when we compare the things that you go through in life, you seem to conquer them pretty well without a lot of
and I honestly don't even know like how.
I was just
shit
gonna say,
happens for me.
I think that there's a degree of they call it I want to say reality distortion. A lot of major entrepreneurs, and remember we took the Myers-Briggs, and Joe's Myers-Briggs was the entrepreneurial type. Entrepreneurs, most successful entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, Gary Vee, and people like that, they have what's called a reality distortion field where they're able to, like, even if there are challenges, as far as they're concerned, they don't even see them because their eye is so set on the prize that that's all that fucking matters to them. And then there are, you know, the people that are more to either side where we tend to. I was just having a conversation with someone about this morning where, like, one of the first, like, I've found a pattern with one of the first things they do in the morning right away is they somehow find something to complain about right away. Something that's just it's like a first world problem. Like, oh, I can't believe it. But it's just, that's the first thing I hear from them for the day. And I'm like, wow. I mean, other than somebody cutting me off in traffic, I generally tend to have a pretty good fucking time in my life. Every now and then when it comes to like myself, I start, my reality distortion field falls. I don't have it for anything but I have it for everything but myself. I'm like super self-conscious, and that's not good. That's like something I'm working on. But like reality distortion field, Keenan, you have that for certain things too.
yes.
There are certain things like when it comes to building shit, right? Whereas somebody would be like, oh, I don't really know. Like for you, you're able to create some kind of division in your vision that is able to focus on the exact things that need to be done in an orderly fashion.
But yes, but that's based on experience of working on projects and building before and coming up with the exact same errors or similar areas.
Right.
But it's nothing that was taught in the classroom. I mean, they can only go so far, but unless you're out in the field, and this might be happening to what Joe's success is that the more you're involved in that element of your example building, you're guaranteed going to come across problems and situations and stuff like that.
Right.
You will have to
think of the
navigate
number
through.
of people that Joe has to deal with on a regular fucking basis.
And all the people he dealt with prior to doing that. on a
Exactly.
regular
And so
basis.
his reality and
Yeah.
his natural proclivity is a people strength.
But to us, it'll look like, oh, it just comes to him. And Joe might think himself, oh, it just comes to me. But you probably exhort so much experience with the things that happen in your life that you naturally know how to counteract
your
them.
strengths lend themselves
Same
to that.
thing with me in building. I always get nothing I ever build comes out perfect at all. From the moment it's contrived, conceived,
Moment of conception. Yeah.
to the moment it's finished.
Right.
And
it's not like Joe never come across oh fuck, all right, well let me, like, it's
No,
not
yeah,
that.
I do.
Right.
Yeah.
I do all the time.
Right.
But that's what he's saying. It's
Oh.
not like it doesn't happen. Like, it
Oh,
does
yeah,
happen. Like,
Right,
yeah,
but
yeah.
what I'm saying is that the good thing is it doesn't stop you completely.
Well, it
No.
only looks like that because of our experience. I'm now trying to add a definition of that, or reasoning behind that, in the sense that because of our experience of that one element,
Right.
to you it looks like we are able to counteract it and overcome it, but in reality, it's really just repetitiveness. We've done it for so much for so long that to us it will seem easy to come up with some sort of solution or to overcome, because we've seen and experienced it before.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. That's what I was trying to say. That's why I brought out your building skills in relation to what we were talking about with Joe and how it may seem like it comes.
Yeah.
It all looks easy, but nobody sees the years of work or like self-development that took place. Just because Joe doesn't like to read doesn't mean he's not developing himself. You know what I mean? There are degrees of self-development. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about the strengths that you naturally have.
Let me tell you something, guys.
He whipped out the dick.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Because you're about to lay on some Joe knowledge, and
that was Keenan's going. Ah, there's a pressure. He was like, "There's a pressure in the room. Are you feeling it?"
Lay it on us, Joe. What you got?
Oh shit! His
right.
jutsu is coming out.
Fuck you, Keenan. I can't even get it off.
Keenan can't handle it. It's too much for Keenan.
Because I like watching Joe. I analyze him quite often, but it's for self enjoyment. Look at this guy.
There's no formula to being dope.
Yeah. Look at that. Hold on. Repeat that, Joe. Repeat that.
I said there's no formula to being dope.
Yeah.
You just are. You just are. Like I don't like.
It's not strategy.
In us, we don't consciously try to be like, fuck, how am I gonna be dope today? Like, what am I gonna do to just fucking like be noticed and be seen? Like, no, it's like fucking just do.
And you've been like that since 6th grade. And that's where I come in. It's like it's prior to 6th grade, some things have happened where he came to that realization, and he's stuck with it since then.
Well, it's obvious. You don't see it. It's acceptance of the self. Joe doesn't like fight himself. He accepts who he is.
From what we see, we don't know about.
Well, again, like it comes back to what we're saying. It's not like you don't run into snags and you're like, oh shit. But there's a total acceptance. Like, for example, our doubts, coming back to this side of the table, mostly stem from moments where we actually fight who we are. Think about that, Keenan. Whereas the whole strength behind the character that Joe's been able to develop is the fact that he just accepts who he is.
I can tell you, I think I know the exact moment that I realized
You accepted yourself?
That I realized that fuck, if I really want to, I could do whatever I want. It was 3rd grade, and I found out that we can run for elections like student council.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I said, I'm going to run for student council, see what happens. And I fucking became vice president.
Right off the bat.
I didn't know anyone. This was my first year in that school. You know, didn't know anyone. No one really talked to me. I was like the new kid. And I just said, fuck it. Why not? And I became vice president. And it was like, oh shit, okay. That's cool. What else can I do? Like, I would just do shit. Yeah, and I would just do shit. And I think that's probably the moment that I was like, wow.
And you've been able to build on that since.
And since then, I just like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to me? Get rejected. And then like, just keep pushing. Like,
now you're vice president of Accurate Staging.
I'm not vice president, but you know, I'm up there.
What about you, King? Do you remember a time when you first realized it, like where you first started to realize like a strength of yours, where you were like, wait a minute, this sets me apart from certain people?
Yes, I do. Like it was yesterday. Probably the same thing for Joe. 2nd grade. We were drawing just arts and crafts, stuff like that. And I'm forgetting what the theme of what the arts and crafts was, because I picked something pretty particular. I don't think anybody else was doing the same thing. But this is the part I remember like it was yesterday. So I was drawing an eagle, bald eagle, because that was one of my favorite animals. Bald eagle, clinging onto a branch, and that came from a magazine advertisement about American coins or silver dollars, something like that. So I drew that whole image, and I looked at the image, and I went to my paper and looked on the paper and started drawing back and forth, and it came out looking so good that people thought I traced it, and I didn't. And I got into a few arguments here and there, and then my parents saw it. They were thoroughly impressed with it. Haven't found out or know where that piece of paper is ever since to prove it. But I know for sure I went into detail of the bird's feathers and the nose and the hair and all that stuff.
So your visual spatial understanding turned out to be like one of your strongest suits.
Understanding things in 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
Being able to draw art.
Like
all
it's
that
just
stuff.
natural to you. You're just like, yeah.
Yeah. And
which would make you a good photographer, videographer, man, maybe.
I still have pictures of the stuff I did in high school of making
Design
drawings and stuff
shit,
like that. And they're really, really impressive. So,
and how did that affect you when you found that out? Like you were like, wow.
Well, it made me, I knew where
and then
I
for
went
people to fight you on like, you didn't do this. Like,
yeah,
how did all that affect you?
It just made me, ball into a corner.
Damn.
No, what it meant, or what it probably developed in me, is the lack of belief in other people. So when a lot of people say my stuff looks good or it's great, I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. Whatever.
Because now you know that you can't trust other people based on what happened when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I have a full of shit meter that's already set at a certain bar for when people talk about the stuff I work on.
Which caused you to really rely more on your own opinion for yourself. Which is actually a good thing to happen young.
Yeah, I guess so. But it definitely
didn't come with its own. Yeah.
It led toward the field of art and design and engineering and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I remember that. And the additive to that was something that, because that is so grained in my memory, is I built a like 2-story apartment building as a gingerbread house for Christmas. I had a little help with my mom putting it together, but it was the fact that I was designing this incredible stuff compared to all my other students in the classroom, where I knew I had some talent. Shit, my mom wanted to put me in like a magnet school when I was young. Yeah.
What happened?
Money.
Yeah. No, it's real.
Yeah.
I went to a magnet school for 5th grade.
Yeah.
I didn't even go to 4th grade. I had to test into my 5th grade. I think the only time I can remember for myself was like I was in the spelling bee. In fact, I remember I was always the one that they asked to read out loud in class. Like I just had a natural ability to like. And the thing is, when I started reading, I faked reading. I think I mentioned the story before. I was like in kindergarten somewhere, and I saw the Lion King book, and like there was a bunch of kids. Like they were all like, "Oh, what are we supposed to do with books?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I knew the story from the movie and shit." So I just pretended like I knew how to read. But then I was so worried that I had to like actually prove it that I actually decided to end up teaching myself how to read, because like we weren't even there yet in kindergarten. And I just started like figuring shit out. I was like, I started looking around, then I learned how to read, and then I realized that like, I always ended up losing to a girl in spelling bee, so I always got 2nd place. But it didn't like hurt my pride or anything. It's a thing that was subtly always there for me. I just knew that I could just read. I don't know why it's important, but the fact was that it just the thing I did, the thing I knew how to do.
And that's the thing you do best.
And that's the thing I do best, man.
Yeah.
Talk about really finding a connection throughout your life. Yeah. Like, fuck, reading has just always been there for me.
Seems like we developed all of this in that early age. Like we knew it at an early age.
Like, look at that. Like politics straight up the bat for you. Like, or at least social skills. Yeah, social interactions, skills. Which is one of your strongest points, like to date. Yeah. When Joe wants to put on a show, people always fucking show up. Like every time I try to put a show together, it's like I get lucky if people show up. You know what I mean? Like I just look at that. But if it comes to putting information together or whatever, generally speaking, people have come to me for shit. In particular, like or when I do relay information, people listen, right, for whatever reason. So like, in obviously building and designing, that's like hands down, no matter what, it's undeniable. That's what people come to you for. You know what I mean? It's what you do for a living. Isn't that crazy? And yet there are people out there who probably have similar things listening right now throughout their lives, but they're doubting it. They're questioning because they're not accepting themselves. Like, to any friends, families, loved ones, people who are just fans of the show, like, really, if you're having trouble, take a long, hard look at your past and your moments and accept it, because it's who you are and it's what makes you fucking special. This is the none of our business.
Yeah, by no stretch of the imagination am I saying just because like shit is easy for me or whatever. Like, am I saying that everything's perfect? No, I've gone through bouts of depression. It's not always fucking awesome. Right. Like, but that's internally. That's shit that I deal with internally. Externally, for sure, like shit is just you see me and you're like I don't know. It's just in no way are we saying that just being dope is a cure all for everything.
And you shouldn't judge yourself for doubting, because the point is all of us here have clearly literally had moments of doubt, moments of uncertainty, but it's the fact that we didn't let that be the end all.
Right. My drone that I'm building is not completed because it's not working. And I'm not quitting officially, but I'm just taking a break because it's frustrating as fuck.
And that's okay.
I'm supposed to be good at building and making things, and I'm following all the steps properly, but it's just not coming out. So there was at one point where I was like, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I'm not
challenging your own identity. Right.
So it happens. But then I go off and I build something else, or I make something else a little bit, lesser in, and then eventually I'll migrate over to drones.
I mean, I'm sure you can. Go ahead.
No. I'm sure you can.
It's just the last point I want to make on this. The last point I want to make on this. I'm sure each of you can think of someone right now, or even listeners, of people who you just know they have the potential to be so fucking awesome. And it's not to say that they're not. They literally are, but they can't see it for them fucking selves. And they just give up and they just smoke their lives away or drink their lives away, or like they're just shut-ins. They stay indoors and they don't do shit, and they don't feel comfortable alone. Individuality is not within their reach. They're only feeling strong as an individual when they're surrounded by other people. But it's when you're truly alone, can you be alone with yourself and be okay with yourself? Happy? If not, like, you don't have to judge yourself. There's literally nothing to gain from judging yourself, and everything to gain from accepting where you are, who you are in that moment, and then deciding to start from there, even if it's level 1.
Mm-hmm. You got something?
I was just gonna say this all goes back to fucking this bullshit with the shooters, because that's where we started.
Yeah.
It is.
And talking about these incel fucks.
Yeah.
And again, that's just an excuse.
God, I seriously thought the whole video game thing was major bullshit too. I mean, they always go back to video games.
It's always finding an excuse. Yeah, but they're going back now.
Yeah,
the whole situation with fucking Walmart. I don't know if it's true, but Walmart removing all violent content from their shelves.
You mean even the guns they sell?
No, they removed everything but the guns.
Yeah, I know. It's like what?
That's fucking stupid.
They're like, whoa, not the guns. Those are our best sellers.
Yeah, I was like,
well, buddy.
And then it's like a lot of them don't even know. There's some games out there that are way more bloody and gory and horrific than the ones that a lot of people know about, because I guess popularity wise, but a lot of people go to like GTA or Call of Duty or something like that.
Yeah, GTA and Call of Duty.
There's a game
give video games a bad name.
Yeah, there's a video game called Soldier of Fortune that came out in the late 90s, where you can literally shoot a guy in a gut and his guts come out and he's screaming and holding it as he falls to the ground. And then there's plenty of other games where you can pee on them,
like Tropic Thunder.
On fire. It's just really, it's crazy how there's worse games out there that don't get heard about, that really should be called out for the violence, but they go after these other but they go after these other games who have less than that, but because they're so popular, like Fortnite, it's just silly. And it
also doesn't hold up. Look at other countries that have access to the same fucking games, and they don't have the same amount of shooting.
Yes, and then there's other things like horror films where it's literally like almost torture porn. It's like you don't call any of those out. You don't call anything about Jason or Freddy or anything like that, but those are extremely graphic on screen that your kids are watching.
Yeah.
You don't even use that.
And again, just like the news used to do, and now it's social media, it makes the world look like it's a lot worse than it is. But look outside your window. Look down the street while you're driving. Do you see that shit happening around you? I'm not saying that it's not happening. What I'm saying is that the sensationalism behind it all is trying to make it seem like the entire fucking world is falling apart, and it makes you want to be less and less involved in your world. But the truth is, for all the bad shit that's always been happening, it's just now being recorded and put in front of you.
Yeah.
The truth is, people have been burning and deforesting shit for years.
Oh yeah,
people have been destabilizing economies for years.
Burning books, burning
there
libraries.
Have been starvation.
The United States is, I just said America, but the United States is one of the major ones that influences other countries to do their bidding.
Yep.
So,
how do people to Americans like we all get high and mighty, but it's like, how do you think you're able to live so fat at even a basic level?
yeah.
Yep.
It's at the cost of other countries.
Absolutely.
And don't ever think it's anything else than that.
Did you get a chance to watch some documentaries we were talking about on this podcast?
I've been working.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been working.
Let's talk about that, you piece of shit.
Hey, no touching of the hair or face.
Where were you for the past 3 weeks? Not being on the podcast.
I was in the Bay.
The Bay? What were you doing in the Bay, Joe?
Bunch of different shit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do they have names?
But mostly
of this
regular shit, right?
Yeah, it's just regular shit. You know, it's just some superstar festival kind of shit. You know, it's regular to me. Everyday shit for me. You know.
But it might be a little stupendous.
Hanging out with the Foo Fighters and shit, just chilling.
No, I did Outside Lands.
Ooh, Outside Lands. That's popular.
What did I call it the last episode? Outer Lands?
He did. He called it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd be that old guy who doesn't know
the apples and the
what is that, Gamecast?
Do you do the wine one that's in Napa?
No, you're talking about Bottle Rock?
Bottle Rock,
No,
yeah.
I didn't
There's
do
a lot of festivals in California.
There are a lot of festivals.
Now, do we have the most compared
Party
to
on,
festivals? Yeah,
we have a lot in California.
I don't want to say we have the most, but maybe it's a strong possibility.
Because there's even Brochella, and that's in Los Angeles.
Yeah, there's a
Bluegrass Festival,
Echo Park Rising.
Echo Park. I mean, like
there's the
Echo Park's gonna rise.
There's a LA Food and Wine Festival.
And then there's the beer one that we do.
There's the party in my pants.
Yeah, there is. There's a party in your pants, and
you're invited.
No, but there's also hard. There's Coachella. There's
it's hard.
You know,
Jesus, Philly.
Yeah.
Are you lacking in some
there's Rolling
sexual?
Loud. There's Rolling Loud.
Is that like EDC
in the Bay and a Rolling Loud in LA, and there's a Rolling Loud in
not EDC.
Miami, I think. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it's just I just realized and noticed that we have a lot of fucking festivals
there's
here.
AMF, there's Treasure Island Festival. There's
Burning Man in California? Burning Man's in California, right? Or that's Nevada?
I think it's Nevada.
Yeah.
But there's a shitload of festivals anyway. But
yeah,
I was
out there.
I was out there
the whole 3 weeks, huh?
Yeah, I was.
We did 3 episodes without Joe.
Yeah, after that I did I do the Course d'Elegance. It's a car super high.
Oh, you did that one?
Yeah, I do.
That's like isn't that where the Cannonball came from?
It's like a super elite. No,
it's like
it's a
super
car
cars.
Show. Yeah, super cars.
Car show. You're not the race, not the supercar race. Oh, okay.
Not that portion. I don't do that. But yeah, there's.
That's super awesome.
Huge.
What was it? What did it feel like being outside of the podcast for 3 weeks? Did it feel weird?
I felt empty inside.
Yeah.
Did you miss us?
Just listen to you guys talk bullshit.
mostly.
How many times did we say "fuck Joe" while you were gone?
You did. You said yes, said it a lot. Multiple times. He said
it should be a drinking game.
Yeah. I was like, these motherfuckers are gonna get it when I get back. Little pieces of shit.
But yeah, at the same time,
Daddy's coming back.
I know.
But I was happy that you guys did really well.
Thank you.
We did okay.
Papa Joe.
You didn't need me. You know, you guys didn't need me. So
we needed you. We just
but you guys still were able to maintain conversations. And
well, I mean, I was still around, so
yeah. Philly does most of the talking anyway. But yeah, I was.
Kitty's
really
like, okay, I just go fuck myself. Then
no,
I have fun with
you. Did well too. You did well.
I like trying to see them.
If it wasn't for Keenan, I'd never shut the fuck up. So
that's true.
I give Philly a look like.
No, dog, say something.
But every time Keenan would ask a guest the question, he would look at me while he's asking it, almost like, anyways.
Yeah. I enjoyed the guests you guys had.
I'm kind of curious, because I was just
you missed out on some pretty good guests.
What you felt like?
I was hoping you'd meet them. Yeah,
it's okay.
Maybe we can have a bring back. I mean, we did talk about a live show too, so we did on one of our episodes. And I'm I'm growing onto the idea of
a live show.
Of a live show.
Yeah, fuck you. It takes somebody else to tell you to do it. Fucking asshole.
Why? We just have to work out the logistics of things.
It was pretty cool to hear somebody who's like never heard our show, but he became a guest on it, and then be like, "No, that's you guys are pretty funny," like, and that wasn't even the full experience. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Sure. Yeah.
You guys had a lot more behind the scenes on that episode. So whatever whatever we probably heard wasn't even the tip of the iceberg.
Oh no, it was a fun day, man.
Right.
You guys made a thing of it.
Yeah. It was pretty fun. Joe's like kind of jealous.
That's cool. I'm tripping. I'm all right with it.
He even sang a Prince song.
He
Which,
did,
and it was like a cut. It wasn't even like, it was a deep cut. It wasn't like a regular standard. I knew you could appreciate that.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
Like I had never heard that song before. And then when I looked it up, it sounded nothing like that.
Yeah,
No,
when we
it was his
listened
own
to it,
rendition of it.
Yeah.
It was like,
He was like, I
was
didn't even
pretty
know if
sick.
that was right. But,
Yeah, he was like, it works though.
yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
Yeah,
cool.
but
Good
next time he performs at Perch, man, it'd be cool to get you to come out with us. Go check it out.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
it's close to it.
Feels like
I know.
that.
Jeez, getting fucking.
Joe's like, Perch?
Yeah.
Whatever. No, I like Birch a lot, actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this can definitely go out to our listeners, but being in LA, I mean, is there any interest of going out? I mean, yeah, I guess you have kids and stuff like that. It's not the same, but I mean, there's things to do.
Just like,
now. What are
whoa,
you talking
whoa,
about?
whoa.
It just has to be within a certain 5-mile radius of your house.
Yeah. But 5 miles is
It's pretty far.
it's pretty big. 5 mile radius
Not
is
big enough.
If I had a 5
Where am
mile
I? I'm at-
penis, it'd be pretty fucking,
Yeah. And then I asked the guest the question because Philly's in his own
fucking.
thing.
I hate you. Yeah, but I'm happy that you guys did what you did. It was
Yes,
great.
I'm pretty sure. I'm glad you're back. It's awesome to see you back.
I felt like so many times I was like, fuck.
I wish you were there to say something.
Yeah, but not only that, but then there's a lot of current events that have happened, and it's like, fuck, I missed all that.
They
shit.
just stacked
Well, I
up.
was hoping to go over some stuff. I think I was hoping to have it put back on Trello for us to get your thoughts on it.
There wasn't much that I took off. There may be only 2 items, and they weren't like heavy items because I knew at some point we were going to revisit them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay, yeah.
I think it's outdated now. It's like one of those situations like, well, that shit happened weeks ago.
Did we already talk about Jeff Epstein with you? We didn't.
Yeah, we had spoken about Jeff
We did?
Epstein before I
Oh.
left. Just before I left.
Briefly covered it.
Damn, I thought there was something that was like, oh, I really love to. I forgot what it was. I was like, oh, I want to get Joe's
But I
thoughts
think we
on it.
didn't touch the fact that like he supposedly committed suicide when we all know
Yeah,
that's
everybody
not,
knows
I
that's
mean,
not the case.
Yeah, but like like you said, like we're all, and you know what's funny is that with this fire that's happening, Jeff Epstein is no longer a problem.
What do you
Like,
mean?
nobody's even thinking about it
Nope.
anymore. Because now we're all focused on the fucking big ass fire.
Oh,
That ought to get some heat off the Clintons.
Shit. Is that a pun? Heat, fire.
You see what I'm saying? But like, just
Unintended.
look at that shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? They might even come after me for even bringing that shit back up.
Nobody
No,
Like,
they
listens
won't.
to the
Ain't nobody's gonna
podcast.
come to you, Phil.
Bruh, we
Watch
fu-
Philly
we-
not show up next week.
we
Like, oh
famous,
shit.
man.
Yeah.
So, in more current events, we have Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, leaving. Supposedly, I mean, this negotiations could have easily changed.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Well,
Like, so
as of
Sony
right
and
now-
PlayStation. Oh, no,
Because I mean, like, look how many movies they got to make.
But even Sony has released a statement that they're sad to see that these negotiations have gone south. And
And what do you mean, like Disney won't give them enough money or some shit like that? Disney has like $1 trillion.
I think it's a situation where it's definitely a money situation. I think Marvel might believe that they're owed a little more now since
the brand has grown.
since they've proven that what this pet project was could be incredibly successful. So they're probably saying, yo, like, all right, guys, we showed you, we let you get almost all the money, for you allowing us to
Even
use
though we did all the
character.
fucking
Yeah,
work,
we
yeah.
technically did all the work, but we're allowing you to get the dough. And now we feel like moving on, maybe we should get a little bit of that cut now.
I didn't know Disney owned Spider-Man.
No, they
No,
don't. It's
Oh.
It's
Sony.
Sony.
So I mean,
And that's why I was
yeah.
like, maybe now Sony, I mean, because the success of Spider-Man is so high. Obviously, here we go talk about money. Here we talk about big
I mean,
companies.
Into the
I want-
Spider-Verse was dope.
yeah. Or even Far From Home.
But here's the thing though, Into the Spider-Verse and Venom were not Marvel associated.
Right.
Those are Sony.
Right.
Those are things that Sony did. So Sony's basically saying, well, but we proved too that we could do it ourselves too.
Venom
But-
was pretty dope.
But
I
they
mean, I
fail to
liked it.
realize that the popularity of those two movies was also on the back of what
of the
Marvel
original
had done.
Marvel. Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
Of Spider-Man being in
I mean,
Civil War.
Spider-Man is more of Marvel to me.
Endgame,
Like
yeah.
it's never been anything but Marvel to me. I just didn't even know Sony owned them.
Now, does that mean
They just own the rights to use him in movies, but Marvel still owns
Spider-Man for sure. They wouldn't
as
give
far
that
as
up.
comic books and everything is concerned. They own.
And so what? Sony thought that if they had ever done it on their own, which they didn't, that they would be just as successful.
No, they're just greedy.
Basically, what I think that their mentality is basically, yo, we still made these 2 movies outside of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we were successful, but they failed to realize that, yeah, you guys were successful because Marvel had already helped you boost the Spider-Man
2-3 movies before.
Yeah, with 2-3 movies before it. So of course you released them at the right time when Spider-Man's popularity was already sky high.
Right.
Like yes, they were successful, but you rode on the tailcoat of the Marvel.
They're getting fucking greedy. All that fucking money, and Disney making millions and billions of dollars off this shit. They want to cut too. Yeah. It's just like it's stupid. It's
that's
so
like
stupid.
That's like being the ugly homie, but you hung out with your best friend forever, and then you know, they ended up not working out the relationship between him and his girl, and now his girl's like looking for someone to lean on, and because you think that had you just met her outside of being the best homie that you could get laid, but it's only because you've been around for so long with the homie that she even looks at you and goes, well, you know, at least I know I could trust you. So that's basically what Sony is doing.
But and even
you're
Disney,
just the ugly homie.
Disney could, I mean, technically they could just fork over the money because they have so much of it. They print their own fucking money. But I think it's just greed and ego on both companies. I want a ton of money. Give me the money. No, we're not going to give you the money even though we have it. You know, and then the whole back and forth.
I mean, historically, Sony has never had budgets for anything. If you read the book,
well, they had budget for PlayStation, didn't they?
No.
Yeah, but that's something else.
Yeah,
Sony Pictures
and Sony Entertainment
and Sony
totally
Interactive
separate?
Entertainment. They're separate entities.
Disrupt
I thought they were
you.
under the same Sony.
No,
brand.
they belong to Sony. They belong to Sony, the company.
Right.
But yeah, the divisions don't actually interact with each other.
Yeah.
And the book Disrupt You, there it is, by J. Allen Samet. He actually breaks down how he got brought on to help Sony go into the digital age. This was right before, like, as the downloads were starting to happen for MP3s and all that shit. And they were like, okay, you're in charge of getting this done, but there's no budget. And he's like, okay. And he had to pull together a deal with McDonald's and tell McDonald's that they had money, but they didn't. And to get McDonald's to give them a $3 million check to get the downloads thing happening where they were offering the downloads. But McDonald's was like, oh, the last time we did that, the Olympics took over and then whatever. So then he went back to Sony. He's like, I can't tell him I don't have money. So he's like, you know what? Why don't we take out the insurance policy ourselves? Because we already have insurance. And because that's what McDonald's wanted the money for. And then have McDonald's give us $6 million instead. And they did. And what McDonald's didn't know is that Sony never had a fucking dime.
Damn.
And that's the way deals are made on that level, at that level.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's what's happening with this. They're just trying to fucking, they're just trying to flip it and pull it, man.
All the time. Those fucking companies are crazy. And speaking of Disney and money and buying companies out and doing crazy shit with it, and fucking Joe's a pussy ass bitch ass for not taking me with him to see Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. How was that?
Oh, I had to take you with me.
Yeah, you had to. Yeah. I'm I am a Star Wars fan. Your son ain't shit.
I remember now. Yeah, he was actually.
I love you, Gavin.
Whoa. Hey, I can't talk about my nephew that way.
He can't really listen to this because we say so much wild shit on
he
here.
He doesn't listen to
But
but I listen to it.
Okay. But no, how was the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland?
I say you don't even tell him after the shit he just
You don't
said.
deserve to know.
Oh, fuck you.
Just know that it was amazing. That's it.
I bet you have photos that you didn't even post that he doesn't get to see now.
I don't get to see him.
He probably took videos too.
No, I sent you guys photos. I sent you guys the photos that I took.
Well, another friend of mine sent me video of him going around the land, and you can see bullet holes or blaster holes in places.
It's pretty fucking dope.
And you can press buttons on doors and stuff. And
do they have the Jabba the Hutt bar there?
No, they have a cantina, but it's not. It
doesn't look the same.
No.
Yeah,
and it's Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt. It was his lair. It was his fortress.
I know. Get it right, man. Come on, don't be talking to us like that with your fucking lack knowledge.
But it's not Mos Eisley. It's a different cantina. I can't remember what cantina.
Well, it's called
something else.
It's on a different planet. Like this planet that they're representing is not.
Yeah. It's different.
Now, did the ship
It
rise?
has its own theme and everything. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Now,
Crazy.
were you planning on doing this lightsaber build or no? Because it was too expensive.
No. I
We're
didn't.
cutting you out, Philly. So
Okay, no. I was gonna do it, but at the same time, the people were like, "Well, there aren't really any reservations open for you to do it."
Oh, because okay,
Yeah, because everybody fucking gets it. So you have to make a reservation to to build the lightsaber because it's an actual experience.
Yeah.
You go into the Jedi Temple. You do like the whole
philosophy
process.
training and all that.
You do this whole.
Oh,
thing,
Keenan's
this
dick
ritual.
is getting hard just talking about
but
it.
this shit is like $220.
Yeah. And you get like this heavy set lightsaber, and there's kyber crystals inside.
Yeah,
you
there's
can
an actual
replace them.
kyber crystal
They
inside.
changed the lights.
Whole thing. The whole thing.
Andrew showed it to me. Him and his girl went, and they showed me the lightsabers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the people that we ran into at the Jurassic Park theater that you hooked us up with.
Yes.
How was that?
So Jurassic Park, the experience at the Hollywood Bowl was kind of interesting.
It's because they didn't know he was white.
At the time. It's
not often that I feel that uncomfortable, and Keenan noticed it before I did, probably because his black radar, he was like Spider-Man with the fucking spider sense.
Well, when we first got there, I surprised my friends because they didn't know I was showing up, but they were sitting on the opposite side. But when we got to our seats, there was two open spaces, a space next to the lady that was open, and this other family. And so we were checking our seats, and I told the lady, because she asked us where we're sitting. I was like, "Oh, we're these two numbers." I was like, "It's okay. We'll just sit right here until somebody shoves us over, and we'll just move to the center."
So that we don't have to walk around.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, don't worry about it.
I was just being polite, and she got nasty rude and was like,
"She was like, no,
this seat is for someone." And I was like, "Okay."
She's like, "No, she's for my man," or whatever, kind of like.
And I was like, "Okay, so
my husband.
I'm gonna have to step over you to get to my seat,
so
and these people
like,
are gonna have to
okay."
So it was very like
off the bat,
very like because I bought these tickets, I own them like they're my property, they're my land. It was very this is mine kind of mentality, and you can't encroach it. So I was like, all right, fine. But I should have sat next to her. Sadly, Philly, I went in first, and then Philly sat down next to this lady. And the whole entire time she's been having this sort of attitude. We even had
I would be blatantly ghetto.
I know.
If I would have been there, I'd have been like, as soon as she responded to me like that, I'd been like, are we gonna have a problem? Because I'm about to have so much fun. If you're gonna have an issue with me, then we're gonna.
I think
it
was
so
destiny that you didn't go to that show.
I think it was
because not only did that happen, right? When we showed up, keep in mind our intention was like, oh no, don't worry about it. We don't want to trouble you, right? That kind of thing. And then she responded that way. But then also, as we're sitting down, the kids are like kicking the back of the chair. The kids behind us are kicking and they're being loud, right?
Yep.
And Keenan and I are just talking to ourselves, kind of like we're doing now, right? But you can see everyone around us who was white was just looking at us like, ugh, like
they were disgusted. Loud. Yeah. And
I go to the Hollywood Bowl a lot. Yeah. So I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
And I would love to.
Well,
I would
this is my first experience on that because we've been there before. Yeah. We had a great experience. We met friends but I think it was a different setting. This is Jurassic Park.
No, I've been there I want to say I've been there for Jurassic Park.
Oh, prior?
Yeah. I mean, I've been to the Maestro, the movies.
Harry Potter.
I've been to that. I've been to Nightmare Before Christmas. I've been to Star Wars.
Somehow we just ended up there.
I've been to a lot of events.
Do they do Conan there? We were talking about movies that should be done there.
Conan? Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, that'd be.
I was like, that would be great there. It's rated R.
So I don't think the soundtrack is like anything that people care about. We care about it.
It's kind of cool. I thought so.
What did I say that was like? It was almost uncomfortable, and you can tell people heard what I said. Something about.
He said when we were doing the national anthem, you said America, home of the enslavement, something like that.
Yeah. Because they like the first thing the show opens with when the movie starts is like before it starts, they start doing the American the national anthem, and I kind of was like. We started talking about like take a kneel, or he's a kid was like, "Are you gonna kneel, Phil?" And I was like, "Probably," or I forget what I said. But then I said something loud enough for all the people to hear, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, look at what they're doing. Oh, but as long as you keep them at the border or some shit like that. I was talking about the kids at the border or something. Well, I forget what I said.
Something about national enslavement. I remember hearing. Some words like
I just remember like seeing the guy in front of me who was also white. You could just see like he was like, like you could just tell he was like bothered, like kind of like
they were all looking
like it got hot in the area.
It felt conservative white. It felt like that.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
I know it should have been great because I would love to see them like try and shush you up because they have
Never
kids
gonna
and all that
happen.
stuff, and it was like, ugh.
And all I could think was like, because I could feel it getting worse, like the amount of just weird energy. At some point, I was like, I said it loud enough that people around us could hear. I was just like, there's only so much you can learn from a person upon first impression. And I think the most important thing to keep in mind is respect should be number one, like off the bat. I said it loud enough and it seemed to like sort of ease things, but I could tell like Keenan and I weren't wanted in that space.
We should have sat next to my buddies, but
it was so funny, man. And it wasn't towards the end when old girl finally got drunk enough off her wine that she started being loud.
Oh yeah,
like
she was
belligerent
slobbering
and
back
like,
that wine like mad crazy. Desperate housewife for sure.
And then we're sitting here the sober ones like just going, okay, well we could have easily been like, look at this fucking wino or whatever, but we didn't because we don't fucking care. We're obviously in a public place. People are going to be loud. Like, what did they fucking expect?
But it was a sea of white people. Like, it looked like a sprinkle for Jurassic Park.
Usually is.
I mean, Star Wars was very diverse. Star Wars was super diverse. So was Indiana Jones. But it wasn't. I mean, like,
it had been a while since I felt racially excluded.
It was. Well, and for me, it's
not like we went up there and we were like, "Yo, my guy, woo, 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 woo."
That would have been me.
Yeah.
Put it up. I would have been like, da 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 da.
They cheered at the right moments and all that stuff, but it did.
Keenan and I showed up and we were like, ha, 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 all right, man, where are we going to sit down, this and that? And they're like, oh, look at these fucking guys. Look at they're loud.
It definitely.
Meanwhile, their kids are like, I don't know if
and they were loud. It was just like,
and they're like, oh, look at the sweet kids.
It was
Keenan and I show up and they're like, oh,
I definitely was
brown people
trash talking you for our seats.
I don't care.
I was like, damn it.
You would.
I would.
You get something for free and you would still talk shit.
Oh, fuck you. No, I was talking about the experience. All right. And
exactly. You would get something for free and you're still going to talk shit.
I'm talking about the environment we were around. Man. All right. You know what, Joe?
You know what, though? We still had a good time. We still had a good time, man. We still had a good time.
It was Did you guys go to Scum and Villainy?
No. What's that?
It's not. I mean,
what the fuck is that?
I mean, maybe after the John Williams thing, we do it or something related.
He didn't take you to Scum and Villainy. That's
the fuck is Scum and Villainy?
He doesn't drink.
I don't drink, Joe.
Oh, that's right. But it's still an experience.
No, we had an experience though. On our way back to the car, I saw two people, especially the first one caught me off guard. I saw this lady go down on a dude, just like
we parked like by Gower, close to the 101 or
yeah, over there. So close to Tower Records. Yeah. Tower Records. But as we're walking. And this is like a normal street. So this is a busy street. People are passing by. There's businesses, stuff. And
it's like on Yucca.
I look over and then this lady just goes over and starts going down on the dude. I was like, God damn. Yeah. I got super jealous.
We started reflecting on why it is.
Why are they having sex?
But like out in the obvious open, like it would be no different.
I mean, it's Hollywood, bro.
They're probably drunk and just
probably, but it's
party.
Like, man, I wish I had somebody like go down on me.
If anyone out there is listening, we'd like to petition, sign you up to get Keenan. Maybe
we're gonna do a GoFundMe.
Keenan,
is that prostitution?
We need to hire a professional.
Right? It is absolutely.
Do you think we get away with it? Nah, I don't think so.
Only in Vegas.
Only in Vegas.
We need what? We need 300-400, right?
But it was wild though, because not only did we see that, but we saw another person like going down to somebody else. I was like, God damn.
I think the second person might have been riding them.
Yeah, something was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I was like, shit.
In their place or
like in the car?
In the car. But it's not tinted windows or anything. It's clear as day. You can see.
Right and it wasn't backseat action. It was all front seat action.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy, man.
I was like, all right.
For both of the things?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
We also saw like some girl, like when we were walking back, how there's like all the people and shit. We were walking by, I think it was like a Starbucks or something, and like some girl almost got hit by a car.
Oh, that was crazy. And then the two, of course, they're white, and they just went off on this person in the car.
Are you fucking kidding me? You fucking asshole. What are you, stupid?
For like 5 minutes, like, okay, you almost got hit. All right. Call him a dick and move on. But they couldn't handle it. I was like,
it's crazy.
Oh shit. We're bringing some PTSD for Joe.
Yeah, right before I left.
Oh, we never got a chance to talk about it.
I don't think we ever discussed it.
No. Do you want to lay out the story?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so right before I left, See, this feels old now. Like it's like, damn, that shit happened.
Did you get hit by anything recently?
Well,
No.
then fuck it. What do you
Get hit by this dick?
So you're back now, man. Are you happy to be back?
I'm happy to be back.
Now, LA compared to Oakland is where you mostly stayed, right? How do you
No, I was Monterey,
Monterey? Oh, that's right. That's
Oakland,
right.
San Francisco.
How's
I was
the
all over
feeling
there.
of the different areas?
It's regular to me, man.
Yeah?
I do that trip so every year that it's like, and I go to the Bay so much that it's like,
Is there a place to eat out there though that just does it way different than LA? They like
Why didn't you go to Casey? Thanks for reminding me, Philly. Casey Barbecue.
whoa, tapping on the
Oh,
table
fuck.
here.
You can't. You can't.
I don't eat barbecue. I don't eat brisket or ribs or.
I'm not a
that
fan of
shit.
They got
barbecue
chicken.
either,
They
though.
got
I gotta
chicken.
be honest with you. Like
It's really
barbecue
good.
chips is my
The
least
best-
favorite chips.
Well, I'm sure they're better, but for me, the
Kid is like,
best
yeah, whatever.
barbecue in LA is over at Johnny Smoking. Johnny
we been there?
Smokehouse. I don't know if we've been there.
We need to go.
It's Johnny Smokehouse.
go.
It's fire.
Yeah.
I just don't do barbecue sauce.
Wait, but you do chicken though, right?
Fire. Yeah.
You do.
They have some.
You do fried
fire-ass
chicken, right?
barbecue chicken. I do fried chicken, of course.
I gotta take you to Gus's world famous fried chicken
on Pico.
in Burbank.
Oh, okay. No,
But I gotta do that within the week. Like I need to have you have this soon, ASAP.
I want to take
Like,
Keenan
right-
to Howlin' Ray's in downtown in Chinatown. It's a
Oh,
2-hour
yeah,
wait,
yeah.
but that chicken is bomb. But the reason I want to take you there is because it's spicy.
Oh yeah.
I just wanna see you
It's
suffer.
Nashville
Oh,
hot
okay.
chicken.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
That
We're
shit
going
is
to Gus. I have to
bomb.
take you to Gus's fried chicken.
Hot chicken is fire.
I have to
I've had
take
hot
you.
chicken in Nashville.
I'm not
though,
gonna
so-
stop saying I have to take you, Joe, to Gus's fried
You
chicken.
see how I just
Take
turned the
this
attention
dick.
away from
I
Keenan?
know.
I
And
need
he's still
you to
trying
go
to get
there.
it back.
I need you to go there.
So anyway, moving
I'll
on
buy
from
it.
all
I'll
this
buy it.
shit.
I'll go to your house. Like,
Keenan's
Oh,
gonna
there's
shove
been
a
more
sandwich
news. There's
down
been
your
more
fucking-
news.
Uh-oh.
So
oh,
earlier this week, we found out that Keanu Reeves was back as
for
Neo.
Matrix, yeah.
Matrix 4.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be crazy.
We don't know what his role is going to be. He might not be the star. I don't know.
I don't
We'll see.
know.
Might
Well,
just be
the
a
thing
cameo.
that's
Stay
throwing
with
me
John
off
Wick.
though is that Carrie Ann Moss is back, and Carrie Ann Moss, she dies. She's Trinity. She dies in Revelations.
Well,
Giving
maybe-
childbirth, right?
Revolution. No,
Well-
she died because she had the fucking thing go right through her.
Maybe she
The
got
rebar.
Oh,
maybe she got lost inside the Matrix and now she only exists inside.
But she was
the
No.
already outside. They were outside of the
supposedly.
Matrix when she died.
I mean, people say that outside they're still in the Matrix. Like they never like.
Joe's like, I see.
Yeah, that's how they can get away with anything. It's like, oh yeah, because you're still in it.
And what if even the
It's a cop
outside
out,
of the
but-
Matrix was still the Matrix and they just didn't know?
I'm gonna be so mad if Carrie Ann Moss is, and there isn't a good excuse for her to be back. Like,
And you won't justify the whole part of them still being in the Matrix, even though they
No.
think they're out of
My
it.
question is Lawrence Fishburne still going to be in this?
He should be. It'd be
'Cause
nice.
I need to see Larry Fishburne in that movie. Man.
Larry Fishburne.
That was his
that
original
was his
actor
original
name.
acting name. Yeah.
No shit.
Larry Fishburne.
You ever see King of New York?
No.
Oh,
That's
man.
it. They use his real name.
You boys got fat while we starved. Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Okay.
Christopher Walken, man. Frank White, right?
I have to watch that. I like how they did a lot of reference in John Wick 3 between
Yes.
Keanu
Between the two
Reeves.
of them,
and-
yeah.
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 That was kind of cool.
John Wick, man. I fucking love John.
I just-
We went to go see
yeah,
that, right?
yeah. I just want to watch part 1 and 2 again, just to get back in that
You
groove.
could just log into my
Yeah,
account.
yeah. I want
Yeah.
definitely
It's crazy. It's,
part 3.
it's a
man.
good movie. Yeah.
And in the final and best news of all,
Talking about Obi.
Ewan McGregor is back
Yeah.
as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's true. No one
Yeah.
else can be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So
Yeah.
D23 is happening right now. D23 is the expo, Disney's own little expo.
Is this new?
No, D23 has been around
It's
forever.
been really.
I guess
Yeah.
you're not a Star Wars fan like you thought you were, Keenan.
Well, it's Disney related.
Don't
but
burp on
so,
the pod.
so D23 is happening right now, and this is when Disney doesn't go to Comic Cons. They don't do any of that shit.
Mm.
So this is when Disney releases all their big shit that they're. That
How
they're-
come they
the
didn't do that
news?
for the Star Wars Comic Con or the Star Wars thingy?
Because Disney owns Star Wars, so they'd rather release it when they're doing their big event, their biggest event of the year.
Okay.
So everybody knows Disney Plus is coming out.
Disney Plus. Oh yeah, the
Disney Plus
streaming
is their
service.
streaming service, which as the moment that I have the availability, the moment they release the shit and say, "Yo, get your Disney Plus account," I'm there.
You're getting to premium.
I bet you they've already started recording so much content.
They
so, like,
have the Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
The new Star Wars.
We'll watch the trailer once
Okay.
once we finish the episode.
And then they also have an animated cartoon.
They're
Star
doing
Wars
Clone
anime.
Wars.
Yeah.
They're bringing
Speaking
back
to
the
the
Clone
mic.
Wars. They're bringing back the Clone Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Philly.
Yeah. Super big.
What, 'cause I'm trying
Super
to
big
keep
hype.
the good quality sound?
Super big dick energy right now with that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Clone
Like,
Wars. That,
Clone
yeah, that
Wars
never
is
finished.
back.
That's
It
right.
never finished. Never got a real ending.
But they're doing it with the new style of animation, right?
No, they're
Okay,
using
'cause
the old.
So they're gonna still use Kennedy Tartakovsky. What's his name? The same people that like the same guy that designed like
That's the Clone Wars. That's the animated
Oh
one.
yeah.
This one's the 3D one.
Okay, so what I saw was something totally different because I was shown by my coworker a new style of animation for a new.
It already
in
came out,
season
yeah.
2? Okay, because shit. Now I got it. Because my coworker was saying that it's something new. So I'm not
No,
sure.
Clone
if that's,
Wars is still going to be in the same style that it was when it first came
right,
out.
right.
Oh,
So
I know which
there's
one you're
Clone
talking
Wars
about
and there's
now.
the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars was the
yeah.
miniseries that Geordie
Yeah, Tartakovsky. Yeah, the same one that did Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack and all that. Yeah, he had his own, and so that's a standalone. on its
Man,
own.
you know he's still getting paid from that shit too, man.
But the Clone Wars was produced. Well, Cartoon Network did it.
How
too,
come
yeah.
there isn't a lot of Latin characters in Star Wars?
Oh,
universe?
Resistance. Yeah.
Well,
that's it.
There's just the captain.
Sorry,
What's his
that's
name?
No, there's not just the captain. I mean, you could say that Saw Gerrera is also Latino.
The
Or
dude who
some
plays
form of-
the Boba Fett's dad or whatever.
No, Saw Gerrera is
From-
Forrest Whitaker's character.
Oh, really?
His name is Saw Gerrera.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's
But he
Afro.
died.
But you
Nice.
can't really say that they're Latin characters though.
because it's
Just
all in the
based on the
future.
name?
This isn't space. This is all
Mhm.
like, you know.
So they're pretty much an alien race of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, but have you
But
noticed
look-
all futuristic space things? Like we're lucky that we
no,
have.
Disney's changing that though.
Yeah?
What do you mean?
For
What-
sure,
what's going on?
Disney's changing that.
Changing what? What? Huh?
It's not the same anymore.
just
like,
the
what?
representation. Like there's only one really. Like there's like it in terms of like Latin representation. I think in Hollywood in general.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
wait a minute. I'm going to sound super racist and sexist and everything, but I'm trying to come to an understanding with myself and looking at things a little bit different about Hollywood in the sense that it's like Hollywood and like other things in life. There are things that have been created by a certain group of people, whether it's men, women, different race or whatever, that grew to a certain popularity. Now, when somebody else comes into that, that's cool and fine. And you can integrate and work together. But then when that one person goes, hey, wait a minute, I'm the only person here. This is super unfair. We need to bring more of me in. Now I have to start really questioning because Hollywood definitely was created by white people, you know, or at least its growth and popularity and its financial backing. Maybe you can say Jewish if you want,
I
but
see what
like
you're
white
saying.
people. So if someone Asian comes in, it wasn't created by Asians. And there is an Asian Hollywood market, you know, in Asia. And the same thing for, you know, India, from Bollywood.
I see what you're saying. So if I
So-
want a representation, I should go work for Telemundo. That's
or
what you're saying.
not tell them. Well, I mean,
Why don't you go back to where you fucking came from?
you technically can, yes. And the idea is that you go into Telemundo and say, I want to start creating movies for Latin people in the United States.
Right, like
Give me-
Bruce Lee still did some of his stuff out there.
Yeah, give me some funding. If Telemundo goes no, well then now you have to you have to figure out that kind of problem. But then you can't go to a group of white people and go, hey, give me some
make
funding.
a story about me,
and then
right.
say this is super unfair.
Exactly.
I mean, that's you bring up a good point.
But it's not a full-on belief. It's just something I'm trying to understand recently because I'm hearing more stories like that where
Yeah.
it's like a group of black people are involved in like, I don't know, something like the tech industry. I'm just making this up, but I would hear similar stories like that and go, hey, how come you're not representing us more in this field of interest? And then I look in the history and it's like, because it wasn't created by you in the first place. And why is there a problem with you creating your own? If people discourage people from creating their own, they don't say, hey, you should create your own content. I think that's a big problem too. Why can't I? What's the problem with me creating my own content now? Why can't I do that? You know?
Sure, fair enough. I mean, you know, there's a lot of other factors, you know, budget constraints, who people actually give money to, who actually gets the opportunity to create big stories, how we're currently actually represented, whether it's generally speaking, we come across as like garage owners, and while that may be true, there are a lot of garage owners that are Hispanic, or like it's never a lead role is kind of what we're speaking on. And then there's the other side of it where like the thing with Ghost in the Shell and how Scarlett Johansson played the story. Yeah. But then if you really know the story of Ghost in the Shell, I mean, that shell wasn't supposed to be Asian. That was the whole fucking point of it. And so when I saw the movie, I actually wasn't mad at what they chose to do and why they chose Scarlett Johansson.
And its original was created in Asia with Asian speaking actors and animators and producers.
I mean, there's a lot of arguments and
general.
I'm just saying that I've seen a lot of space shows, and other than the fact that Edward James Olmos is in that one Stargate, Battlestar Galactica. My bad. Other than that,
don't be talking.
Other than that, I haven't really
Get the frack out of here.
I haven't really seen many things like that. And it just, it's like I think back to that George Lopez bit where he talks about he was asking his mom that, and she was like, "That's because they don't want to see us. They don't plan to have us around in the future." You know what I mean?
Oh shit! George Lopez said that. Oh, we should go see a George Lopez stand up.
No,
you're not.
Joe's never been a fan.
Oh, why not?
Joe doesn't like Latin people though. Like it's not a mystery. It's not a mystery. Like I can tell you that off the bat.
Either. It's not that either. I'm just not a fan. Like I don't know.
Joe believes in dirty Mexicans too.
No, because I love Felipe Esparza.
No.
I fuck love Pablo Francisco. Like it's just
Pablo Francisco also isn't like. I mean, he doesn't look like Hispanic.
Yeah, but no, you're right. But I don't know. Like George Lopez doesn't do it for me anymore.
Well, I mean, like it's the same way like Carlos Mencia never did it for
Gabriel
me.
Iglesias, I can't stand.
Oh, really?
Did, yeah.
I can't. Okay. I'm super not.
I think his stuff is okay, but I would, he's not my favorite. But Cheech Marin is pretty good.
Oh yeah,
great.
He's fucking a legend. Oh, but I like the stuff that Robert Rodriguez does in general.
And Robert Rodriguez, yeah.
And he's a fucking leader in our community, if you will, our community. I can't even say that.
But
now.
look
at that.
Hey, watch out, white boy. Chill.
But look how he came about. He wanted to create stuff.
My cultures.
Oh Jesus. That's what I'm saying. Hollywood didn't accept him in the beginning, and so he started to create his own stuff.
The same thing with Guillermo del Toro. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, man, his innovation in film has been fucking like unignorable. And yeah, he talks about it all the time. How like
it's perfectly fine to go into that industry, but if you get rejected, first try your own thing before you go. Oh, these white people aren't.
That's true.
Unless that group of people prevent you from financing your own stuff.
I mean, but then look at what happened with Greenville, man, and I think it was in North Carolina, was it? The black community had established banks and all that shit.
Are you talking about Black Wall Street?
Yeah, and then they did do their own shit, and look what
they got bombed the fuck out.
Bomb those brown people.
Well, we can do our own stuff. We just can't be successful at it.
The person that I was telling you guys I want to bring on the pod, the homie Harvest down there. He was the one who was telling me like I didn't know that it was our own army that fucking bombed Black Wall Street.
Yeah,
that's on some crazy shit.
Yeah, United States. Yeah, and then they said it was like an accident. Like they were trying to go after something else and just happened to burn down this whole village.
And they were literally working on a documentary for that shit.
Oh, yeah?
Like, to bring it down. Like I said, that shit just makes me so sad, man.
And that was 1800s? It was like 1800s.
It was a
or 1900s?
prospering community that had its own stocks and bonds, man.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
American white people like, we ain't having that.
See what your ancestors did? You see?
Damn.
You see? God damn.
Feel shameful, Phil.
I'm beginning to start feeling white guilt.
White guilt.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ewan McGregor's back as Obi-Wan. And he's gonna get a series, and I'm so
it's a series.
Hyped.
It's not a movie. It's a series.
Not a movie. It's a series.
TV like a Netflix thing, or
well, it's gonna be on Disney Plus.
Is Hayden Christensen still going to be doing Darth Vader, or did Darth Vader already die out at this point?
Well, this happens
right after.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is after
3.
Return of the Jedi?
Between episode 3 and episode 4.
The New Hope.
No.
So this is
this is between episode 3 and episode 4, which is Revenge of the
Sith and Empire Strikes Back, right?
No, A New Hope.
Oh, A New Hope.
Jesus Christ.
Sports and science.
Wow.
Billy just
go read a fucking book. Go read a fucking book, white boy.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of here. How dare you?
Wow.
He said, it takes place between Revenge of the Sith and Empire Strikes Back. You fake Star Wars fan.
It's like what was it?
He's gonna go to Galaxy's Edge and think it's like fucking Star Trek.
I'm gonna go there and I'll be like, I can use the force. And people are gonna be like, fucking noob.
Where's Captain Kirk? Are you serious?
The fuck out of me. Live long and prosper.
They're all gonna look at me like, you don't have enough quarks in your body to be a real Jedi.
Oh my god.
Well, but the Mandalorian,
yes,
that's happening.
And it was called the Resistance one.
It is Resistance,
but that's a new style of animation.
Yeah,
though.
it is.
Hey, wait a minute. Am I now just the white boy that everyone hates on the show?
We gotta hate somebody.
Yeah.
You're the minority here, so yeah,
taking away all the land.
No, but
what about
I'm
my
super
rights?
Excited.
All lives matter.
I'm super excited because Disney Plus is not just releasing Star Wars stuff, but they're releasing Disney-owned properties. So that means they're also releasing new Marvel shows. They're doing Moon Knight. They're doing She-Hulk.
Wow.
Yeah, they're doing
because they want
Marvel.
to capitalize on the success of all that stuff. It's money. It's all money.
And I'm gonna eat all that shit.
They need to stop making live action remakes, though, man.
Give me all the content.
Somewhere in the middle of all that, I'm gonna throw my dick in there.
As long as it makes
Vienna sausages.
As long as it makes money, they're gonna recreate, bring back, restart. I mean, they're making the Terminator movie.
Lady and the Tramp.
So Joe, remember in the group tag, said that he disagrees with me on The Lion King.
Oh, absolutely. That's right. Ooh, let's talk about this.
Come on,
I
man.
thought The Lion King was fucking
And
great.
your favorite song was the Scar song?
It was definitely Be Prepared. Wow. Absolutely.
You like that little drawn out Be Prepared?
What Chiwetel Ejiofor did? I loved it.
Nice.
I loved it. See, the problem is that you went in with the mentality that everything is going to be the same.
Here's your problem.
And
he's mansplaining right now.
You have to remember that it's a remake. I never go into a remake thinking that I'm going to watch the same thing because I'm not. I didn't do it with Aladdin.
Okay.
I didn't do it with this. I didn't do it with the Jungle Book, and I was pleasantly surprised because there was a lot of stuff in the Jungle Book that was not in the movie.
Okay.
And I loved every single thing.
And Hellboy? You like the remake of Hellboy? I just, because I just saw it. I rented it on Redbox.
How did you feel about Hellboy?
I fell asleep through it. I missed out the last 30 minutes because I was like,
you're not the only person that said that, though.
Let me tell you something.
All that shit I was just talking about doesn't apply to Hellboy.
I had to watch it twice because I fell asleep 3/4 of the way through it on the first run. On the first run. Well,
Dude.
no, but here's the thing.
Even
though.
the CG, there was like, what did you lose budget?
But here's the thing. I was kind of also under the influence.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. So I fell asleep 3/4 of the way through it, not realizing I fell asleep, and then I woke up and the credits were rolling. And I was like, "Oh fuck! I fucking fell asleep. God damn it!" And then I went back and watched it like 2 days later, and I loved it.
You like? Okay,
I enjoyed it a lot.
It seems kind of like honky, like very cheesy.
Whoa,
like,
that's why it's not gonna get a. That's why it's not gonna get a sequel.
A sequel, because I just felt like they were trying to go serious with it, violence and language and all that stuff, and I thought that's where it's gonna be kept. I wasn't trying to put it up against Guillermo del Toro stuff or the first one. The first one was by some other director. I don't know who it was, but
what do you mean honky?
Yeah, honky. Yeah, something like that. So like cheesy.
I can't. But even then, I didn't go in expecting I was going to watch the same movie.
Right. Okay.
True. But the movie you should have saw, which is what I watched before that, and I told Joe like 8 times already, is Overlord. Overlord is like an underrated action horror. It's great.
I meant to watch it, and I just never got.
I went to see it in the theaters. I'm glad I didn't see it in the theaters.
I was going to listen to it, but I just started to move on with my life.
It was good. Yeah. And I saw a documentary on Woodstock. It was actually surprisingly well.
It's dope.
Very interesting.
I don't remember fucking asking you, Keenan.
Fucking hate you so much right now.
But yeah,
I just want to give people a taste of how we actually do.
Disney Plus, man. Disney Plus is doing it, man. I'm so excited.
And then you wrote something else too.
Joe consistently whistles when he. I'm so.
And you caught yourself once, and that was fucking hilarious.
I got a piece of candy in my pocket.
Got a piece of candy in my pocket, little boy.
Oh, no, that was me. Oh, never mind. I was wondering if you guys ever did the whole
if you die
text number.
Yeah, did you guys ever do that?
Oh my god. If you ever did the text number neighbor.
No, I never did it.
Text number neighbor.
Have you thought about that? or is it text neighbor, text something?
What is
It's
that?
your
One digit of your last phone number, above and below.
whatever your phone number is, whatever the next number, next or previous number is your number neighbor. There it is. Your number neighbor.
Okay.
So basically,
It's like a social media trend?
Social media trend.
Yeah.
You text you dial your
Hey,
number
man.
with the last number being the exception,
Mhm.
whatever the next one is. And
Isn't
then
that
you just
usually a
text.
telemarketer?
Yeah,
What?
but then all you do is basically text them. It's like, hey, number neighbor, I'm your number neighbor. What's up?
And that's it.
And
yeah.
then hoping they're gonna respond
if they know it.
and you guys have a conversation.
And the only thing I brought it up was because I saw one who didn't believe it worked, and they wound up getting Chris Evans, and Chris Evans responded back with a photo of himself doing it. I was like, oh shit!
But now he has to change his number.
Because somebody knows
This
it.
broad fucking reached out, and now you know my number.
Yeah. Oh god.
I'm afraid to do that.
I mean,
Let's do it right now. Let's do it.
What?
Yeah.
For real?
Number neighbor on
Nah,
air?
wait.
Oh, wow.
I feel weird doing it. Are we gonna do the
No,
one?
I'm
up
gonna
or-
do it. I'm telling you.
You're gonna do it? Are we all doing it?
All
Oh,
right.
fuck.
So basically, you just text. You can choose any number. At
You
the end of
choose
it?
your phone. You dial your number, but then change the last number to the next number or the one previous.
Okay, I'll do the next number.
Okay.
And what do I write? Hey, number neighbor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oops.
Hey, number neighbor. And then if they respond, you guys have a conversation.
Oh my god! I can't believe I'm doing this.
I hope I don't run into like a crazy person.
I know you never know, but it's in your area code. So
hey,
it's like,
number neighbor.
You're really thinking about what you're
Jumping in on that trend.
See if this. Just trying to see if this is some bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah, just trying to see if this actually works.
Yep. Let's see.
Send nudes. Oh wait, no, I'm not gonna.
No. All right.
oh
Ain't
god!
never
I'm gonna do one for the one above me and the one below me.
Damn,
So-
you're going all in.
I'm gonna see. I'm just gonna see.
I got a green bubble, so whoever I texted is a fucking Android user. That's already bad.
What'd you get?
I just did it. I don't know.
Is it an Android user or an iPhone
I
user?
don't know.
I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, you son of a bitch! You fucking suck these dicks.
So that's basically what it's like to hang out with Joe. He can't
Oh
be
my
trusted.
god! I just sent it. No,
You're ridiculous. What the fuck am I doing that for?
Joe would either do like what was it in Scary Movie where like he stabs himself and he's like, all right, now it's your turn. He's like, I'm not gonna fucking stab myself.
You fucking suck.
Well, now we're gonna see what the response is.
Oh god. God damn it.
Oh, I'm so good at this.
Billy, did you really do it, or am I the only one that did?
No, I did. Now I just know that Joe cannot be trusted.
Oh my god. I
wasn't gonna do it.
This is your fucking acting skills, man. On point. You convinced us both.
I was typing like this.
He probably actually wrote it out, but then just didn't do it.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on.
No, fuck you, Joe. You don't. Your first day back on the podcast, and you got me in Philly to do this. I shouldn't have said shit.
Oh man,
Joe
All
is
right.
not to be trusted, bro. And with that, we've come to the soapbox.
Soapbox talk.
So by talk. So as our guest, what we do at the end of this
Eat
episode.
my dick. You know the schedule, motherfucker.
God dang.
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, it's
Keenan.
me. It's usually me first.
Hit
and
us
then-
with your soapbox.
And then it's,
That's right. That's right.
You forgot the order.
I did. Well, no, I mean, I released some soapboxes I didn't want to release. Oh, fuck. I did have one. Thank you. Come back. Come on. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
You're taking too long, my guy.
God damn it.
Hurry your fucking ass up.
Damn, Keenan.
What are you gonna complain about today?
Oh, fuck you.
Keenan's soapboxes are always just complaints.
He's like, you know what really grinds my gears?
have you ever thought about maybe doing a soapbox that isn't a complaint?
I should. I've done only one that wasn't, and I should do one that isn't.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Keenan.
It's not a complaint. No, it's gonna come out as a complaint. Shit. I'm moving back to my apartment. No, my apartment, my house, my mom. Okay. So what happened was my mom owns property, and on that property there's a house, and she moved out of that house. My cousin and her friend live in that house now, and there's a room in the back where I can move into if need be. This happens to be one of those times where I need to do it. So, because I'm being a responsible adult and paying off
Your debts.
my debts and my student loans, to be specific. And I paid off my car, which is great. So my car is fully paid off, and everything else is paid. I have nothing except student loans is on me, which really sucks. But now I get to be closer to Joe, and Joe has no fucking excuse not to go out, hang out with me since I'll be in the area. It's a change in life that fuck you, Philly. And fuck Philly, fuck Joe, fuck everybody.
Wow.
No, it's an experience. Oh wait, no, that was my soapbox. Wait, my soapbox is being at the house with no internet. It was so trippy. So I sent a text message to Joe and Philly, and I cut my internet off because they have some weird stupid shit with Spectrum. Fuck Spectrum, but whatever. That's the only one in town, and I had to cut my internet off a week before I actually move out. But having no internet is so fucking weird. It's weird. And the statement was, I feel like I've been unplugged from the Matrix, but yet I'm parked inside of Zion. So I'm in this flourishing city of Los Angeles with two places literally in walking distance that have live music, and there's bars and restaurants and stuff all in walking distance. And I am a little under the weather, so I can't really do too heavy stuff, but it just felt like I had everything to do but nothing to do, if that makes sense. And it's so weird how the internet is, I don't know, intertwined with my lifestyle, which I shouldn't have to need it. I remember what it was like not having internet, and I know I could start writing a book or typing up something or drawing something or whatnot, or being creative without the internet needed. And I wound up fucking going through my hard drive and organizing my porn. No, I didn't organize my porn. No, I went through and I watched videos that I had downloaded of this TV show. I'm not sure if you two know of this TV show called Relic Hunter back in the day with Tia Carrere, but it was a very cheesy Hercules style, Xena style TV show, but just about treasure hunting, like a Laura Croft version of Hercules. But I wound up watching that, which is sad. I went something digital and visual, but no, just interesting being with no internet at the house. It's going to be interesting for the next week or so. I'll find things to do, but that is cool. It's fun, but it's also weird. It's just weird. It's weird. It's so weird. Like, I don't know. I could go down the street to the coffee shop to get internet, but I don't know. It's just weird knowing that you don't have that easy access. It's fucking weird. All right, that's my soapbox. Nothing upsetting, right? Nothing like complaining about.
No, I guess not. No. Sure.
Thank you, Kenan, for sharing. No,
thanks.
It makes a lot of sense. Oh, we're not supposed to comment on it, so okay.
Yeah. Thanks
yes, you can.
Thanks for that. Thanks
you can comment after, right?
Yeah.
You just can't comment during.
No.
Fuck you, Joe. Whatever.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm not even gonna say it. Fuck, I do that every time.
Yeah, you might as well. Go ahead.
So I don't have anything prepared.
Jesus.
Woo! Oh man. Soapbox talk. It's a kind of an off day, and I'm gonna go with that. I think that a lot of shit is going on in the world right now, but it's no excuse to let it affect your personal life and the progress that you've been making. So I'll bring up a oldie but goodie that I like to share all the time. There are two circles with which we can work from within, and one is a circle of concern, and the other is a circle of influence. And so long as we spend the majority of our time working on our circle of concern, which has no definitive size and no definitive limit, we will hurt our ability to do work where we can actually create change in our lives and the lives of others. And that's our circle of influence. And this comes back to the shit that we've been talking about through the whole episode. You know, your circle of influence can eventually become big enough to start impacting your circle of concern, but never the other way around. And yet I see so many people focused on their circle of concern. You know, it does this. I understand that the world is fucking falling apart. Climate change is happening and everything is crazy. And what the fuck is the point for some people probably out there believing that? And no matter how much resharing or donations that we try to bring out, you know, at the end of the day, that's a government level problem. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't do anything about it. What I'm trying to say is that you need to step up your own personal game, just like I need to step up my own personal game to become people of influence who can actually do something about it on a scale that is massive. Whether that's having a platform where you start talking about it and get people to come together to, I don't know, start a Kickstarter where you're going to fly out yourself and go out and see what the fuck's going on because you have knowledge in agriculture or how to reestablish a rainforest or how to clean water because you're someone who studied irrigation and all that shit. Like really look at what you're doing and the efforts that you're making and try to create some practical, literal progress forward instead of just jumping on the fucking train. You know, I see a lot of people, they're posting angry things and spreading hate and only becoming part of the problem and not really a solution at all. And there's a lot of problem solvers in the world and not enough solution providers in the world, you know? So my campaign and my soapbox is just to like really take a long, hard look at yourself and think about who you really are and where you can really make a fucking difference, even if you're at level 1. Vote for me, President of the United States, 2030.
Hey, who's
32.
not going to do anything himself?
32.
2032.
Wait, why 32?
Because there's no
it might
election
take,
in 30.
It might take a couple years. Yeah.
There's no election in 2030.
What about earlier than that?
2032.
Huh? 32.
Vote for me, 2032.
28.
Vote for me.
Yeah, 2028.
2028, vote for me.
Yeah. Dude, I wonder what it's going to be like 2028.
It's going to be like flying cars and shit.
And it's all in VR. We're in a VR flying car.
They're going to invent the penis pill that actually works, you know?
Oh my God. Keenan will have a girl.
It's been a while. You sure you can still do this?
Let me dust off these cobwebs. This old timer has.
Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I actually do. Daddy's back. Your father is back, children. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. I'm not really gonna be traveling the rest of the year too much. I still have some events that I still have to do. So, but I don't think they'll get in the way of the pod. I wanna thank you guys for holding it together while I was gone. You guys did an excellent job. Obviously the beautiful thing about it is that I guess now we've proven that we don't necessarily need the three of us continuously to make this show successful and consistent. So it's not, I feel like it's not a big deal if one of us has to miss. And I think that's what's made our team stronger. That we don't all necessarily need to be here, and that's usually a problem with with some groups. That if one specific person isn't around, then everything falls apart or everything crumbles. And the fact that this show can continue without any specific one of us not being here, it just goes to show that this show is a special show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still get people reaching out to us and saying, I love the show, or people tell me, hey, such and such started listening to your show. They fucking love it. And things like that. So it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to know that people we don't even know are listening to this fucked up show. And I hope it continues for ever and ever and ever. And our children's children's children do this podcast. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen, but it'd be nice to think that this is going to become, something more than what it is. And it's not just going to be up to us. It'll also be up to the listeners.
True.
As long as we continue to have a steady listeners and we see that the response is still active, then we're going to continue to do it. Through thick and thin, we don't get snow here, so I can't say through rain or shine or snow or whatever, through drugs. Yeah. but yeah, I'm glad to be back. I fucking missed it. And but just listening to you guys do it without me it just made me happy that you guys stayed consistent. He's relishing this so much. He's like, oh my God, I'm getting so much praise. Si puedo.
I think I saw his cock burst through his pants.
I know. I can't. But yeah, so we did this show earlier. Today is Saturday. We recorded this on a Saturday because there are many events, many things happening tomorrow that are not allowing us to do the show. But it's not going to affect any of you because you guys will still hear this on Monday, even though this week's episode came out on Tuesday.
Did it?
Yeah. I didn't
real?
see it post until Tuesday.
That's weird because I published it.
On
Google. We published it on Sunday.
Yeah,
I
Google
published it
told me
very
that that there was a new episode on Tuesday.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah. Google let me know. They said, hey, there's a new episode. on this
Interesting.
podcast. Yeah. So
Literally
anyway,
did it that same night.
that's weird.
Yeah.
Super weird.
I seen it.
Yeah,
Maybe there was an issue with the API on Spotify.
it could be. But anyway, still great. Still loved it. And yeah, we're gonna try to I mean, I know that I haven't been much of a presence as far as like social media is concerned. So I kind of want to up my game on the social media some more because, I think we should.
Let's make sure to do a promo
I
before
think we should be pushing it more.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want, people to die down on it. But thanks for talking during my soapbox talk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been episode 39. Decide on a fucking beat. We're your hosts, Billy, Keenan, Joe.
Keenan be fucking up the beat.
Sorry, I drilled on my hands.
Ah, God
He
damn it.
fucks it all up, man. I'm gonna start getting some congas just so he can Keenan's mouth is just not made for this.
Each woman out.
Suck your man's dick.
Pet your dog and vote for me.